Yeah, we should be going live. Yeah, good.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom. Just check. Yeah, we good. It's going up.
Yeah, hello. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom. Okay, okay, yeah.
1 2 1 2 speakers in the mic.
Yeah, shalom, shalom, Akim. Just let us know if the sound's all right. Okay, yeah, the brother James Wise is loud. Cool. For water. For water. Just keep
Alright.
checking.
First and foremost, when they give all praises and glory to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahashem, Yahweh Shai,
Bahashem,
Bahashem,
Kodash.
double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone. Blessings to the hopeful and sincere elect. Akim wa the Akwah, the Bakwaya Kodash. That's the holy elect in and around the four winds of the earth. Greetings, man. You know, shit is getting spicy right now. Seeing all the news, the latest news. You know, the prophecies have been popping off like popcorn for the past couple of years, but now we're basically at the door, man. You know, we just had a recent situation over there in Philadelphia where they said that there was outage of 911 calls.
Yeah.
Basically got blocked off or something like that. So all hell's breaking loose over there in Philadelphia. And then funny enough, shalom, man. Funny enough, I just saw an article. I did a sit down in last week, a few days back, and it said the DOE, the Department of Energy, was going to be administering 800 hours of blackouts and shit like that in different states in America, man, by a guy, King Trump, the King Trump, Donald J. Trump, man, the dementia king, you know, the leprosy king, should I call him? He's running amok, man. But it said the DOE was going to do 800 hours, or have up to 800 hours of blackouts. And then funny enough, last night you had the Philadelphia situation where the 911 calls was blocked off. So this is purge season, man. This is the time that we're living in, time of all-out chaos being unleashed in the streets of America, man, aka Babylon the Great. And that's just part of the precursors of the judgments that's going to come across that great whore that sitteth upon many waters, man. And there's more to come. If you want to start off with Ecclesiastes 3, there's a time and place for everything on the earth. And someone get Isaiah 24. And I think read from like verse 7. Because, you know, the cities are going to be cut off very soon, man. And then when the cities are cut off, basically the ministry is going to be cut off. That's when the famine of the word's going to come into play. And you ain't going to see the men of the Lord out there on the highways and hedges anymore, like I used to seeing every weekend. We're going to be restricted. Everything's going to be more constricted, more censorship, you know. And that's when basically you people are going to have to survive there on your own, man. Because the Lord's not going to hear your cries no more. Once he pulls back the prophets of the Lord from off the highways and hedges, man, that means that you people out there, you Jakes, 2/3, you're gonna have to go into survival mode. And basically means you ain't gonna make it.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1.
8. I'll read 1 and jump to 8.
Right, so it says, verse 1, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven.
Yep.
It's verse 8, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace.
Yes, there's every kingdom that's been on the face of the earth, there's been a time for everything, you know, the highs and lows, so to speak. There's been a time for peace, and now there's a time for war. And that's why there's war brewing over there in the Middle East, because that's going to be the hotbed, or the Third World War, and cometh quickly, man, World War III. But we know, according to prophecy, that's not going to take place until the last end prophecies of the mark of the beast are initiated and made mandated around the four winds of the earth. I've seen another article as well with the Neuralink, and this guy, you know, Elon Musk, boasting and bragging about how you can use telepathy through using that brain hip, man. And that's the part of the lying wonders, you know, the false miracles and lying wonders that this devil's going to use to deceive the people into taking it, thinking they're going to get superpowers and be super smart because they got that biometric device attached to their forehead or in their hand or in the right hand or in their left hand, man. They're thinking that they're going to be more advanced, but really it's going to be to their destruction, man. Because that mark is a mark of death, basically. A mark of judgment from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Go ahead. That's it? Is it Isaiah 24?
Yeah, so this is the book of Isaiah, the 24th chapter. There's a lot in it. I can start from verse 3 even.
Yeah.
The land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled, for the Lord Yahweh hath spoken his word.
Yeah, that's talking about the nuclear destruction. That's going to come after the hour of temptation and when World War III finally takes place and commences, when all these super world powers and these elite countries finally just decide to go head on head and shoot them nuclear missiles on each other, man. Now, I just watched a video recently, man. This guy, Nate, Uncle Nate, I call him Uncle Nate, man. This guy's bugging the fuck out, man. It's like this guy's forgetting himself as well. Yeah. Bro, he was on the podcast for like an hour-long podcast, and from the beginning, he was just cutting himself, Hebrews 4:12, and butchering the scriptures, man. You going into about preaching another gospel, and if a man coming to preach another Jesus, you know, and he was basically cutting himself because everything he was saying, he's doing. Then he was talking about black pastors and all that, false pastors. Man. He was just cutting himself, man. I was just like, this guy is not serious, man. But because he's got that cult of personality, he thinks he's exempt from judgment, man. Teaching madness. Then he went into the scriptures and went into Isaiah 13 when it talks about the Medes. He tried to go into Isaiah 20 something first, and then it talks about the Medes, and he tried to say it's Iran, bro. So when in history were the Medes, the Iranians? You had the Persian and Medial Empire, man. It's called the Persian and Medial Empire. It was two different entities in one. So where the hell did the Medes come to be the Iranians when the word Persian, the Persians were the original Iranians?
That's right.
The Medes were the sons of Japheth, man. And now they're the modern day Russians. So he's trying to say Isaiah 13, he's trying to say where it says they're going to they're not going to regard gold nor silver. They're just going to shoot bare missiles and destroy the whole habitation of America. It's talking about Iran. That's not talking about Iran. That's talking about Russia, man. Russia's got, man, to destroy the whole America. Once Russia gets involved in that World War III scenario, they're going to obliterate the world, the West, man. Mainly America, man, and Israel. Not Iran. Iran's just going to be going back and forth with, Israel and all of that. And they're going to have their the back and forths, and ultimately they're going to probably do a few attacks on America, sleeper cells or whatever, but they ain't going to blast America to hell and back with their nukes, man. They ain't got enough nukes to do that. It's talking about Russia, man. The Medial Empire, the Medes today are talking about the Russians, Tsar Putin and them, also known as Gog, Magog. The hell are you talking? So when he said that, I was like, this guy is bugging the fuck out. And there's other things as well he's kept going off on. But you know, you can't keep up with, he just keeps changing like the wind, man.
Yeah, man.
That guy's double-minded for real, man. He changes like the wind. And because he thinks he's so benevolent and no one can tell him nothing, then he also said, yeah, you got cult religions where the pastors, you can't question the pastor and all that. That's you.
That's him in a nutshell.
Your cohorts, your zombies, man, don't question you.
They said we got Nate's spirit in us. They said, like his spirit is within us. You should be.
That's what Yahweh Sup said, right?
Bro.
Yeah, that Yahweh Sup said that Passover, right? A couple years back.
Yeah.
You got the spirit of Nate in us. That means you're zombified, man. Yeah. You know, the Brat had that song Funkified and all that. Whoa, Funkified. This guy's zombified, man. These guys are zombified. These guys are out of their wits. That's why they always go marching. This guy talking about he just came back from Ghana. How many more times do you need to be told that you don't need to prophesy in no damn fucking Africa, man? You got the World Wide Web for that. You don't need to get on no planes to go to no fucking Africa, man. Furthermore, all the tribes are over there in America where you're supposed to be at prophesying. So why can't you just do that? Why can't you just listen to what the word of the Lord said and just do what the Lord told you to do, which is prophesy to the ends of the earth? The ends of the earth is not Africa, man.
Crazy.
These guys, these false pastors, these black pastors he was talking about, like yourself, you guys are just, self-willed, man. So, just seeking your own forms of righteousness, man, and just disobedient as fuck, man. and bare rebellious, man. Stiff-hearted. You talk about, yeah, the guys that don't want to teach the truth and teach different doctrines, but you don't even mention the Lord's name. You keep calling him Christ and Jesus and that, man.
Yeah.
So you're one of those guys, man. What the fuck are you talking about? That whole podcast was an hour long of basically Nate just spilling the beans on himself as being a fucking false prophet and a hypocrite, man. And why the Lord's going to destroy the IUIC. That's just a clear example of that, man. Because this guy, it's like he doesn't understand what he's saying. You was just cursing yourself out in that whole podcast, man. You didn't even know it.
Got this for you. 2 Timothy 3 verse 13. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived.
Yeah, because you want to go on all these podcasts and all these different shows. The apostles and the elders of a great millstone been saying, fuck all that, man. Because you're casting your pearls before the swine. Why do you want to talk to niggas that don't even believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, don't even want to know about Yahweh Hashem Yahushua? They just want to debate and cause strife and contention. These guys they ain't trying to repent. These guys ain't sincere, man. They just want the views. They're in it for the clout, man. They want to keep their algorithm numbers going up.
They're there for the vibes.
And they know that the Hebrew Israelite doctrine or the subject of the Hebrew Israelites is a main topic of discussion right now. Like it was back in the early 90s, man. Before the 2000s and all that. So now they got the World Wide Web. So the main topic of discussion, now you got the saint. This guy calls himself the saint, but he says we're not the Israelites. So where did he get the name the saint from? The saints are the Lord of the children of Israel. So when you call yourself the saint, you're saying you're the child of the Most High, which is basically saying you're Yasha Allah, you're Israel. But he's saying, no, the blacks and you guys can't be the Israelites. You guys are the worst of the worst, and I destroyed you in the debates and like it don't make no fucking sense. Where did you get the name the saint from? Ain't the saint in the scriptures? Who are the saint of the Lord or the Most High? The sanctified, man, the chosen. But he said, you blacks and Hispanics, you can't be the chosen. But the so-called white man, them gutter rats over there, they're the real J's, right?
Crazy.
Quick one.
This is why the Lord's good. 2/3, man. The Lord's gonna wipe you niggas out. We ain't gonna shed no tears for you, man.
So it says, verse 14, but continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and has been assured of. And that's the thing, like remember when he went into the hour-long breakdown of the Lord's name and he was breaking it down and
he said 2 hours.
2 hours, look at that. Yeah, bro.
So there's no other video that's ever been done better than done better than that. And it's true, because that was a good breakdown, bro. But why didn't you stick to that doctrine, man? What happened, man? Who did you talk to, man? Because obviously someone got to your ear. This is why you didn't want to teach the name no more. And that goes back to this fact that you guys are sold out. Your leader's a sellout, man. He's a charlatan, man. And I guarantee, like the apostle said, when the MOT to the B gets mandated around the four ends of the earth, that guy's going to go into hiding, or he's just going to be making up excuses, man. Or as in what the mark of the beast is. Because he knows his head's going to be on the chopping block for that, man. And he's going to try and escape from that judgment. But he's leading his flock astray. Because they're in that zombified spirit, they don't know that Esau's getting ready to totally take them out, man. You're going to stick chips in your asses, and whether you like it or not.
Yeah. It says, which thou hast learned and has been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. And, like that, there's a disrespect unto the apostles. You never really believed in it if that's how you're going. Because really and truly, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone got to be men of the Lord. Like, who else is doing, like, the fruitful works that they're doing and bringing in men onto the rightful path? And, like, it says in Ezekiel, the second and the third chapter, you're going to be beaten with double stripes because you know a lot better than what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if you're one of the elect. Which the apostles and the elders, Great Millstone from Apostle to Tahar, have been saying, yeah, you might be one of the elect, but the Lord's going to jack your ass up if you are. Talking about Nate, man, because that guy, he's just wicked as all hell, man. And he's just like proud of being wicked as well, man. He's not even trying to hide it, man. Like, he's just proud, he's dissing the Lord, he's dissing the name. He's just doing his own thing. He has his own lyrical breakdowns, man. He won't teach the whole truth, He wants to be lauded and praised, like, he wants to sit in Moses' seat, basically, man. Like, he's the savior of Israel. That's why he wants to go traveling around the whole world, just buying up land and shit like that. Land blitzing. The Lord gonna blitz your land, man, with nuclear fire. How about that?
Yeah, I can say this as well, because you even got, the scriptures tell you that oppression maketh a wise man mad. but a gift destroyeth the heart. And a lot of these false, pastors in these other, camps, they got gifts, man. Either they've got some deals doing 501c3s, got some government fundings or exemptions of something. So their mind has been compromised, man. So what do you end up doing? They end up teaching false doctrines. They don't teach the true name of the Lord, and they start, taking and adding away from the scriptures, man. Just for what? Benefits, gifts, But the scriptures say that the deceived.
The
the deceiver are his. So only the Lord set them up, man.
If a church got if your Israelite group got a 501c3 chart, that should be an immediate red flag, automatic, bro. You should run away as far as you can from them fuckers, bro.
Yeah, that's a sit-down topic right there. Red flags of the Hebrew Israelite teachings, man, or doctrine. If you notice these certain signs in the Hebrew Israelites camp or so-called doctrine, these are red flags that you're supposed to look for, man. Like your teacher's not teaching the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. That's number one. They're not teaching the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. That's a false prophet. That's a red flag. If they got a 501c3 charter with the government, that's another red flag. They're uniformed and wearing all t-shirt garments, that's another red flag. Like the Wi-Fi and all these different camps. All these different camps, they got t-shirt garments as undergarments as with border blue and fringes. That's a red flag, man. Because that's not a garment down to the foot that the Lord told us to wear. So these are the things that you got to notice, man, about these different teachers. And then you got to go into the doctrine. Romans 16 and 17 tells you, man, they teach anything contrary to what you have learned. Warn the flock of these Decepticons and stay away from them, man. And that's why we're always constantly getting on these different camps, the IUIC, the ISUPKs, because these guys are not genuine, man. They're genuinely deceiving you, man. That's what they're doing. Now you got Captain Cesariak, he wants to be known as the greatest debate on YouTube. He said it out of his own mouth. I want to be known as the greatest YouTuber debater in all of Israel. What the fuck are you talking about, man? Did the Lord come out here and told you to go out here and debate people? Or did he just go out here and tell you to preach the gospel, man? We ain't out here to have no debates, man. All these fucking worldwide religions, Christians and all these Buddhists and Muslims and all, we don't give a fuck about these people, man, because they don't give a fuck about us. So why are you so putting all your time and effort to try and debate? Because you're a man of, you want reputation of this world, man. You want the accolades of this world. You want to be lauded and praised, man, by the world that the Lord hates. So you're not a true prophet, and that's another red flag. Guy that always wants to go on different podcasts debating. These are all red flags, man.
This is Isaiah 8 and 20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
Yeah, man, and certain guys, they had the light, and now you can see that the light's it's waning, man. They're losing the light. Like Captain Cesariak, now he's starting to, in the one in last week's debates, he was saying, you got to talk about hell. I had to say that, that hell exists. Like there's a portal that you go into hell and all that. He didn't even correct himself when he said it, man. That's how you should have. That lets you know that these guys are waxing worse and worse. They're changing up the doctrine, man, because they just want to be accepted by the world, man.
That's crazy.
And looked at away as, he's a true prophet because he can break down. He uses long words and great orators and that. We ain't here to be no great fucking orators, man. Yeah. Lord said just go out there and preach, man. Weren't the 12 disciples unlearned men? They were unlearned men, man. The only learned men out of all the 12 disciples was Apostle Paul, man.
Yeah, the 12 were fishermen and that, man. Just carrying on with their daily
regular
routines.
Joes,
Regular
man.
Joes, bro.
Lord said, put down those nets, man, and follow me, I'll make you fishers of men.
Yeah.
He said. And that was a parable for the fact that he was going to use them to, gather the elect. Because those men are actual fishermen, and they gathered the elect. They was going to gather the elect by, casting out the net of the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So that's why he chose them, man. It was all predestined anyway. But that's an example of why the Lord chose fishers of men. Because he said we're going to be fishers and we shall fish them, and then he's going to turn us into hunters.
Yeah.
So the Lord looks for the lowly, man. He ain't looking for the proud and the nobles. The Lord don't look for no nobles in this truth, man. Noble men, guys of great renown and all that. You can say Apostle Paul was kind of up there, but he left that all behind. He gave that all up. He said that he counted all that as dung to gain Yahweh Shai, man. All that reputation. He's kept his Roman citizenship, which helped him in the end, in the long run. But other than that, he didn't give a fuck about all that, man. He wasn't trying to be no celeb, man. And he was when it comes to the prophecies and all that, he was probably the deepest out of them all, man. Look at all the books that he wrote, man. The whole New Testament, half of the New Testament is written by Paul.
He mentioned so many different men, Timothy, all of that.
Yeah, he mentored bare different men as well under him. Like he was mentored by Gamaliel. So he had a heavy, what's the word, man? Lot, basically. He had a great lot, man.
He had men that wanted to kill him, man. 40 men that fasted said, yo, we're going to eat till we kill him. And he said, yo, I'll go to Jerusalem and die for the Lord if I go.
But then he had men in this truth talk about the word of Paul is not the gospel. Like to say he was on his level.
Crazy.
You couldn't even break down certain precepts that he could go into, man. You talk like you're on his level.
Crazy.
Clowns, man. But where's that guy now? Where's the pegmaster now? In hiding somewhere. On the beach. Yeah, do that, man. Do that for talking shit about against the scriptures.
That's crazy. Yeah, if I could just say real quick, because the way the scriptures is written, there's no holes in it. Like, you know, people, especially the Muslims, they always like to come with that bullshit. Oh, yeah, there's contradictions. There ain't no contradictions. Yeah. But you see with these liars, when you start to say shit like, yeah, Apostle Paul's doctrine ain't of the canon, then you gotta start. Then it just your whole doctrine is full of holes. Then how can you then say, yeah, you believe in Yahweh Shai when Yahweh Shai validated Paul? Or if you say that hell is a thing, then what? Did King David go to hell when he committed adultery? Like, do you know what I mean? It's just the whole thing comes unraveled just off one lie, bro. And that's why you just gotta keep adding layers.
There's really no contradiction. There's only misunderstandings.
Yeah, because the scriptures is not for everyone. The Lord said it, man. The mysteries are for the certain men. The mystery is not given to all men. That's talking about all Israelites. It's only given to certain men, known as the elect. Because why? Because Jake don't know how to cherish it, man. Jake don't take shit serious, man. You know, you cast your pearls before the swine, they're gonna render you, man.
Yeah.
That's why the Lord said not to, go into certain groups, man, and teach the gospel, because this word is not for them, man. They're just gonna, stamp all over it, man, trample all over it, because they don't know how precious and serious this truth really is, man. This is life and death. And going into the situation with John the Baptist, about how he fell out of the truth, that's another thing Captain Cesario was going on off. Any prophet, so-called prophet that tells you the disciples and Apostle Paul was not a man of the Lord and John the Baptist fell off. That guy, you got to look at that guy with a strange look, man. You got to look at that guy with a feng shui look, like this guy ain't all the way in the spirit. That's how you doubting the men of the Lord, but you're saying you're a man of the Lord and you worship Yahweh Shai. You're doubting his teachings. You're straining that and that. Yeah, you had men that doubted Paul. John the Baptist, he did disregard the Lord as the Lord. But the Lord didn't say that because he done that, he's not a man of the Lord. You know? He's still a man of the Lord, man. He did what the Lord set him to do. He was the forerunner. Okay. He baptized the Lord in the waters and said his shoes are not, his foot is not worthy to stand upon, man. His sandals and all that. He can't stand upon that because he had a different role to play. And he's not the Messiah. Yeah, he didn't know that he was Elijah in the reincarnation, but we don't know who we are in the reincarnation. Does that mean we're not men of the Lord? Because they asked him, are you John, are you Elijah, are you Yahweh Shai? And he said no. Because he didn't know, innit? The Lord said the former things out, he doesn't bring it back to our remembrance. So he didn't know that he was Elijah coming back. Does that mean he's not a man of the Lord? We don't know who we are in the reincarnation. We ain't got no proof, no paperwork and all that of our forefathers. This is all through the Spirit, man. And faith. Does that mean we're not men of the Lord?
But then, if we're going to say that, then you're going to say John the Baptist fell off. Then you're coming against Elijah, bro. Like, that's Elijah in the Spirit. So what are you saying then? Like, then you just open up a whole...
fucking sense.
But even there was times in the scriptures where the disciples even inquired of the Lord about certain things.
Yeah, and they doubted the Lord. Yeah, I was going to say.
What the scriptures say that he, basically expounded onto them, basically roughly, and their understanding grew.
So the Lord cursed them out, because even when the Lord passed, got crucified and, was transitioned into after the 40 days or whatever, or before the 40 days, he was going to transition, and he came up amongst the disciples, and they said, they doubted the Lord, basically, we thought the kingdom was going to come, he didn't bring the kingdom and all that. They said that's in the scriptures. And then the Lord cursed them out, man. He said, you have little faith and all of that, man.
Even the phrase doubt and Tom, bro, Thomas, bro, because he said, I ain't gonna believe until I put my finger in the nail, the hole, and feel and handle it myself.
And then the Lord reappeared and told him, put your hand in there then. Yeah. And he was probably just standing there in awe and shock, like, oh shit, sorry, Lord, all fucked up in the spirit because he doubted the Lord. But does that mean he's still not a disciple? He was a disciple, man. And he's still going to come back in the ring. He could be here right now. We don't even know. He could be amongst the elders and all that, doing the work like he's supposed to be doing, getting ready to be taken up in the chariot. Because the prophets are subject to the prophets. Spirit of the prophets is subject to the prophets. So the prophets are back here again, man. You know, Elijah already came and went. We know that that's our high priest Abba Bivens, man. We know that through the spirit. And that's Yahweh Shai's cousin, man. You got people that are doubting the scriptures and all that, who are doubting whether the Lord ever existed and all that. John the Baptist was Yahweh Shai's cousin, biologically, man. Elizabeth's son, Mary's son, were both relations, basically.
Yeah. Can I say as well? Then that also just proves the Immaculate Conception bullshit, which IUIC might as well start preaching because they're basically like the church anyway.
Yeah, they teach hell. IUIC, they teach hell. They teach the Immaculate Deception. I'm sure they teach every other things as well that are not, you know, kosher, basically, man. Yeah. Them guys are off, man. Them guys are Nate, man. That guy is so double-minded. It's not even funny. It's like he forgets what he says in a previous sit-down and he says something else the following week. Changes like the wind, man. But like I said, John the Baptist was Yahweh Shai's biological cousin. So how the hell did Yahweh Shai not exist? And how did he not come from the loins of Mary and Joseph? He came from the seed of man, because he actually came in a body, in the flesh. Like everyone else that comes and goes on this planet, man. That's how man is born into the earth.
The first chapter of Matthew's his whole genealogy.
Yeah, and then he came back as Elijah. So if Elijah is John the Baptist, that means Yahweh Shai is definitely around, man. So when Yahweh Shai comes, you people are going to be fucking pissed, man. He's going to fuck a lot of you people up. Go ahead.
I was going to say,
No.
This is Jeremiah 3:15. And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding.
Yeah, Nate tried to read that precept. That doesn't include you, Nate. That doesn't include you, man, because you're a Decepticon, man. You're one of the Decepticons, the ones that the Lord's not sent. That teaching their own divinations and all that. False divinations. Damnable heresies, man. Teaching about hell. That's a damnable heresy. Teaching that we ain't got the name of the Lord and all that. That's another damnable heresy. There's all kinds of shit that you've been teaching, man. That's going off. And anytime the apostles and elders reprove you, you just get more and more prouder, man. You just won't humble yourself down. But that's why the Lord's going to have to intervene to humble you, man. The Lord's going to have to do something drastic to you if you're one of his men. And really just mess your shit up. And humble you, man. So either that, you just got to go into the spiritual realm, man. And we'll see you on the other side. Because, you know, the Lord's only going to take so much from a rebellious son. You know? I mean, the Lord got rid of the Comforter, and he was a demon. And the Lord had enough of him, and he just got rid of him on April Fool's Day, man. So what do you think Nate thinks he's exempt from judgment, man? The Lord said he's not a respecter of persons. You don't rate man like the world does. This man's, you know, he's a great this and that, and he done this, you had this business and that. The Lord don't look at man like that. He don't give a shit about all that. So whether you're sincere, man, in his truth, or if you're not, the Lord gonna jack your ass up, get you out of there, man, and give your spirit to someone else. That's why I said, cast not your crown. How you say it? Cast not your crown. No, the crown, man.
Let no man take
let no man take your crown. That's it. Go ahead, read.
It's 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 25. Because the foolishness of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai is wiser than men, and the weakness of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai is stronger than men. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called, but Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise.
Yeah, man, that's what the Lord does. Because you got these scholars, all these world scholars and all that coming up against the Israelites trying to debate us and all that. And even if we don't want to debate, you got the whole cab Malones and those type of degenerates that are trying to, you know, debate us in the scriptures. And they get sent with their tail between their legs, because they can't come up against the men of the Lord, even though we're not learnt men like them. We didn't go to no biblical theological cemetery. We ain't got no scholarships of the world, you know, masters and all these different degrees and different topics and all that. And then you're going to be, you know, or you went to fucking Harvard or Oxford University, you know, your top scholars in that field, and you want to try and debate the men of the Lord. We're looked at as fools because we're not of that stature or whatever.
Yeah.
But we could debate you and destroy you with this word, man. Why? Because we got the whole unction, man. The Lord said He's given the unction to His men, so we got the full understanding of this book to a T. So anything you want to discuss, biblically wise, we'll destroy you, man. Whether it's historical or biblical or prophetic wise, you can't test the men of the Lord, man, because the Lord's put a special unction on those men, and that can't be defeated, so they won't be confounded, basically. Go ahead.
Hey, well, you had the scribes and the Pharisees during the time of Yahushua. They were supposed to be the wise men, renowned in the law and all that. And then you had it to where the apostles were taught directly by the Son of the Most High. So what would you rather? Like at the end of the day, like all of the scribes and the Pharisees, there was righteous men amongst them, but for the most part they were wicked. They didn't even know what the fuck was going on half of the time. And then ultimately, even though they thought they were doing right by selling Yahushua onto the Romans, 70 AD came and they all got swept away, man, in that flood of war that the Romans brought.
Yeah, and the Lord warned them of that before it happened, man.
Exactly.
4 years before, the Lord warned them of that time to come. So that shows you that they knew that Yahushua was the guy, but they just didn't want to have faith in him because they made a pact with the devil.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're going to find that out in the last days, that a lot of men are going to sell the Lord out, especially when that mark of the beast comes as well.
Yeah.
His brothers have visions and dreams, and men lining up in droves, and you see certain Israelite brothers lining up as well. These guys are getting ready to take that sea hit, man. Yeah. So that means they gave up. They got disenchanted. They gave up hope and faith in the Lord, and basically sold the Lord out because they want to get a sea hit so they could eat some food.
Yeah.
So that's why you got to be sincere in this truth, man. And you got to count your blessings. And you always got to be prayerful as well, because you don't want to lose that spirit, man. You always pray for the Lord not to take His Holy Spirit away from you, man.
Like I say, that's why the scripture says you got to be fully persuaded in your own mind. But this is not about like really believing that your teacher had. It is part of it, but you got to believe that you have the full feng shui. You got to believe that the Lord really also put His spirit upon you, man. Not that you got some other man's spirit upon you, because that's just leaning on another man, man. That's flesh, man, and the Lord ain't going to deal with that. You got to really believe in this thing and believe that Yahushua is going to deliver you. And that's why coming out and doing these videos, studying 2 Timothy 2:15 is important. Because if you ain't studying and you don't know these scriptures for yourself, what the fuck you going to do in the time of Jacob's trouble when the internet's cut off and you can't go phone a brother and ask for help?
Well, that means you lack belief, man. If you're just doing this just to pass the time by,
exactly.
and you didn't really believe, then that falls upon you, man. You're gonna look stupid at the end of the day. The Lord ain't gonna be deceived. You deceived yourself.
That's right, man.
Because you should have known better, man. You should have took this thing seriously. Because everything we're saying that's gonna happen in this book is happening now, and worse things are gonna start happening, man. Daniel 12, Jeremiah 30 and 7. We can see it's gonna start breaking out soon in America, man. America's ready to implode on itself. America's through, man. Like I said last week, the only thing left, like the apostles say, is what? The only thing left for America is the nuclear weapons, man. That's all that's left, because America's through. You got this, the king of Babylon. He's just running rampant out there, man. He's just making rash decisions. He's lying right in front of the media's eyes. You don't want to release the Epstein files all of a sudden. He wants to, all of a sudden everything's just been redacted and there's no files, because it blatantly has all his information in there, or what his dirty laundry is in there. He doesn't want that to be exposed, and plus all these compadres, all these top politicians and celebrities and all that, they're all involved. So they don't want their names put out there, basically. So you have to sweep that shit under the rug. It shows you that all these presidents and politicians are all bought and paid for, man, because they always do the same thing. Every election they preach them to the people what they're gonna do to support them and all these different benefits, and then as soon as they get into office, they do the total opposite. What's the first thing DJ Trump did as soon as he got into office? He signed how many different executive orders, man? And I guarantee all those orders is against the MAGA groups and against the American citizens in general. Because look what you got now, all these ICE raids, all these deportations, and now he's saying he's getting ready to deport US citizens even. So you could be a US citizen if you're against his regime, especially with him linking up with Israel and all that. They're saying that he can, detain you and deport US citizens, throw you over into a camp. And that's what they ultimately want to do, because America's going to turn into a whole prison camp anyway. Prison planet, man. They want to put their citizens into internment camps to give them that sea hip technology. That's where all this is leading to. Total control by the wicked elite. The New World Order, man. Or the New World of Disorder, as I always call it. And that's what's coming, man. They all, as I said, all these leaders, worldwide leaders, whether it's Putin, the Xi Jinpings, whatever you want to call them, the North Korea, so they're all bought and paid for, man. They're all compromised COINTELPRO for the wicked elite. The Rothschilds and them, man. They're all bought and paid for, man. All the Keir Starmer, even Keir Starmer came out and said, I'm a Jew and all that.
Yeah, it's in my family. I've got family in Israel.
All of a sudden he's a J now. I thought Keir Starmer was English and all that.
Exactly.
So that shows you they're all compromised, they're all bought and paid for, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
All bought by all lobbied and all that. They're all supported by the lobbyists. Who are the lobbyists, man?
The earth says that scripture says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked and covereth the faces of the judges thereof. Like, of course, that relates to Esau, Edom ruling the world, but like these small hats are in control of everything, man.
Yeah, and more and more information keeps coming out, and it always goes back to Esau, man, namely Amalek. But they want to keep lying and saying, no, the Jews don't control nothing. Then more and more information comes out that it's actually everything that's going on in the earth that started, whether it started and spiraled out of control or whatever, it leads back to the Jays, man. The Israelis or whatever you want to call it, Mossad and all of that. It leads back to them. Why? Because they're the seed, the top seed of the wicked. They go back to the nation of the Edomites, man.
That's right.
Especially these top banking elites. That's why even the Rothschilds call themselves Red Shield, man. Rothschild, which means Red Shield, or Red Child. Because they know they come from the spawn of Esau Edom. That's their forefather, man. And they know what Esau was put on this earth to do, his blessing, which was to take anything by any means by blessing it by way of the sword. That was his blessing, man, from Isaac.
Listen.
Go ahead.
This is Revelations 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb,
Yep.
and he spake as a dragon.
Yeah, so that's this whole political system, man, which you're seeing now, the austerity measures, all the draconian legislations that they're coming up with now, you know, the DOEs and the DOJs and all these different things that they're doing to implement the New World Order. And everyone's coming to find out, Republican or Democratic, they're all part of the same filthy ass bird, man. They're all part of the same filthy ass system. You know, they basically work against the Goyim, work against the people, to set them up, to put them entrap them in this New World Order.
That's right.
Now they want to set up third parties and all that. All of a sudden, same thing over here in the UK. They want to get rid of the Labour and Conservative. Now they want to set up a new party. In America, they want to set this guy, Elon Musk. He wants to set up his own party now.
It's all happening.
He wants to run for the presidency and all that.
Yeah.
But either way, all it's going to lead to is the initiation of the CHIP. Because that's what Elon Musk is all about. He wants to put brain chips in everyone, man. So if he becomes president, that's what he's going to do. And it's funny because I watched one video and it had like an old censored Simpsons series or episode. But basically, this guy Trump in 2025 getting assassinated in the month of August, and he got banned from TV and all that because shit was getting so chaotic, and Trump was just doing so much fuckery. Then all of a sudden they found him dead in his Oval Office, laid out, and he got assassinated. And it said August 2025 in the cartoon. So who knows what's going to happen to Trump, man? They might just get him out of there, and Elon Musk could be the next guy. You know, because he wants to put brain chips in everyone, man. And they definitely going to push that shit.
Yeah.
But for now, we know that Trump is the guy, man. He's definitely looking like the guy who's going to lead us into World War III. You know? But that's after the CHIP gets initiated and made mandatory around the four winds of the earth. But we're in that time, man. We can't stress it enough. If you doubters and gainsayers and all that, you're just going to have to feel the fire yourself, man, because all the warnings are going to stop very soon. As I said, from the start of this live, man, the Lord's going to start drawing his men back off the streets, man. Once that happens, you people out there, you're going to have to fend for yourself. You ain't going to find this word no more, none of that. The men of the Lord, we're going to be sober-minded. We're going to be all right. We're going to be relaxed. We're going to be waiting for the Lord to do his work, to destroy you people out here, man. Just like that situation with the flood over there in Texas the other day. Tore up those towns and shit over there. Turned that place into Atlantis and all that, underwater city. Within 24 hours, man, that whole place the whole land in Texas, Guadalupe, what was it, Guadalupe River, whatever it's called, the Ganges River, whatever it's called, man, I can't remember what it's called. But that shit just tore up the whole of Texas, man. Still people, buried under that rubble and all that sewage and water, man. That deluge.
Yeah, but Texas gets a lot of extreme weather, man.
That was extreme, man. They didn't expect that type of rain. But that was the Lord. That was the judgment of the Lord, man. And he's visiting the earth.
A couple years back in the winter, they had extreme snowstorms that kill people as well. Texas, that region of America, always gets hard.
Yeah, man. The Lord let that dam, whatever dam that broke, man. And the Lord just let the water override. And that the Lord, it tells that in the Jeremiah as well, that the Lord, holds back the seashores, basically. So the Lord was the one that let the waters overflow and drown all those people in their houses and shit. And it was mainly crackers as well that was getting jacked the fuck up. So there's all praises to Yahweh Shai for that, man. There's all these proud crackers and all that, man. Go ahead.
Romans 3:3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of Yahweh without effect? Yahweh Shai forbid. Let the Most High be true, but every man a liar. As it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged.
Yeah, so really we don't care about how the people think or how they look at us, or they despise us. We're supposed to be the offscouring of the earth anyway. We're supposed to be made a spectacle unto the world, looked down upon and all that, the infamy of the people. If you're a true prophet of the Lord, you're going to be hated more than loved anyway. That's part of the occupation. You're going to know that when you come into this truth, you're going to suffer a lot. You're going to have many temptations, diverse temptations, mental, spiritual, physical, hell that you're going to be going through. And also that you're not going to be loved by the people, man. You're going to be hated. You're going to want your head on the chopping block, man, especially as we come closer and closer to that time of the destruction, man. You're going to want the prophet's heads on the chopping block. It's starting with the wicked elite. There is going to come a time when they're actually going to come knocking on brothers' doors and all that, man. Great insurrection upon those that fear Yahweh Shai. I mean, it's starting with the tribes, the northern kingdom and all that, with the ice raids and all that. But really, they want to arrest and hem up the men of the Lord, man. That's who they really want to arrest, because we're the real, problem to their whole new old order, man. We're the real spanner in the work, so to speak, man. We're the threat.
Yeah.
You know, and they know that we got the truth as well.
Yeah.
That's why they have to send spies in amongst us and all of that to try and counteract and get us hemmed up in some worldly carnal shit, because they know that we got the truth.
That makes me think of like the old X-Men, like when they had the Sentinels and they were trying to cure the gene, and they had certain mutants sell out and then basically take the gene and then persuade the other mutants within. They were trying to corrupt them from within, basically, because they looked at the mutants as like basically a threat to society.
Yeah.
That's the same type of shit that's going on.
X-Men, the first season, the 1997 old school version, they had C-hips in them, in the mutants, man. They was putting chips in their heads, and they had them walking in line and all that, like prisoners in formation, man. They had them walking in line, and they all had chips in their heads, and you had the Sentinels, like you're saying, which represents Esau's martial law, military troops, making sure martial laws and the curfews are kept in order. That's what Esau wants, a total dystopian state, man.
Yeah.
And he wants to control Jake, because we're the ex-mutants, man. Like this new Superman movie, I just watched a little bit of it, and you got he called them meta-humans and all that. The word meta-humans means beyond human, like beyond the flesh, basically. More power, like obviously, like you got extraterrestrial, extraterrestrial, basically.
Yeah.
That's basically what the superheroes are. Extraterrestrial, meta-humans, beyond the flesh.
Yeah. And you know what's spiritual about that, I can say as well, they got the manly form, because obviously we were made in the image of the Alahayim, but they're beyond man, so they got arms, legs, faces, and that. Even though of course you got angels that are terrible to look at, but we were made in the image of the powers, being that ultimately we were made to look like the angels coming down.
That's how God's supposed to look, man. Manly. Your heavenly Father's a man. Scripture says he's a man of war, so obviously we're going to be replicas of the Most High on the earth through his only begotten Son. We're little replicas of Yahweh Shai, man.
Exactly.
Because that's why Yahweh Shai, when he comes, he's not going to meet me as a man, but he's not going to come back as a damn woman. Like they had in that movie Dogma and all that shit.
Crazy.
You know? trying to portray the Lord as a woman and all that, man. That's wickedness, man.
Yeah.
The Lord said he's a man of war. His father's a man of war. So Yahweh Shai is also a man of war. And you got the 4 archangels. They're also men of war too. With Michael, the archangel. And he's known as the man of war, the angel of war. So it's all masculine. It's all masculine spirits, man. In the heavens, man. It's pure masculine energy, man. There ain't no fucking effeminate, effeminate, suspect and sus type spirits in the heavens, man. That shit happens on the earth, where these men are being effeminized and start doing metrosexual and all that shit.
Yeah.
All these type of guys out here, man.
Yeah.
Start wearing makeup and shit, man. Pedicures and they're doing the facial pedicures and shit like that, man. That metrosexual type shit. That shit don't run in the heavens, man. You got manly spirits, man. That's why when the Lord comes back, he's going to destroy this whole place. Because the real sincere men are going to be lacking. There's only going to be a few left, which are basically the elect. The rest are going to be, chipped up and ready to be burnt, man, to a sundown. And when they come back in the kingdom, they're going to come back in their manly spirit once again. And the women are going to come in their order as well. I was just watching this RTM podcast with, this guy Spray, the debating with these black women. This is why it just shows you that you can't. The black woman's the least desirable, man, and no one wants to deal with the black woman because she's just too loud and clamorous, man. The whole time she's just running her mouth, clamorous. She don't want to accept. And basically, the whole thing is they don't want to take instructions from men. They don't respect men. So if your woman doesn't respect you, she's not gonna follow your orders. She's not gonna she's not gonna respect you. She's not gonna follow your guidance, man. She's gonna everything you do and say, she's gonna have a problem with it, man. Because she wants to be that authority. I think even who was it that someone said it? It was Nate. Once again, he said, when he was in police school or whatever, training, and they said, when you come into different households, right? So he said, if you go to a white man's house, Edomite's house, so-called Caucasian, usually the man is the man of the household, and the woman's the one, just doing the womanly duties. He said, if you go to Chinese, the same thing, the Arabs, the same thing. But he said, when it comes to the black and Hispanics, it's the woman that's the head of the household. The man is the one that's basically being effeminized and basically being abased. But the woman's the head of the household. She's the one that gives orders. And it's true. Because the woman's always out there running her mouth. She always wants to be the first to speak, the last one to have the last word. And she always wants to be the first to speak, like she's the authority of the earth, man. Speaking over men and all that, man. But speaking amongst men. She always got something to say. When these women don't really know shit, man. The Lord said he deprived women of wisdom and understanding, but these women haven't got the memo yet.
Yeah.
Because Esau Edom gave them that pedestal and put them on a fucking higher, that feminism bullshit, propped up their heads even more. Now they can't see, now they see no way down, and basically they just got their heads up into the sky. No one can tell them shit. Even if they're the biggest whore and slut on the earth, they brag and boast about that.
If I can say this point as well, because I remember even Kevin Samuels, he was even speaking about the black woman and how out of order she is, man. And he was speaking with someone, and I remember he basically showing like examples of how unruly and out of order they are. And he said that basically she would rather rule in hell than to serve in heaven. That's the spirit that they're in, man. Just rebelliousness,
Demons,
man. They'd rather have this setup that they've got the devil gave them, like that Gardinian pact, to rule, and have that feminism, than to be, serving in heaven, man, in paradise.
Because in heaven you gotta be under order. But they don't want to be in order, but they don't want to be in order under the Israelite man, basically. They want to be in order under the enemy, which is the so-called white man, because he gives them liberty to gather abroad. That's why. The white man gives them more leeway to be whores and sluts. Whereas if it's an Israelite household or Israelite man ruling over them, Israelite man's supposed to be more austere. And keep their daughters inward, like tells you to keep your daughters in the house, give them no liberty to gather abroad, none of that shit, man. That's how women are supposed. Women are supposed to be prisoners of men, basically, man. You're a prisoner to your father until you come of age, and then when you come of age and you reach the flower of your age, and ready to your flowers blooming, basically, and you give it to your husband, then he becomes your prison master, man. You become his captive. That's why it talks about you being a possession. A woman's supposed to be a possession. There ain't no such thing as equality, man.
Yeah.
In this society, what does Esau say? Nah, the woman can have equal rights. She can do what a man does. Stupid as all hell. All that does is create chaos and disorder. And that's why you got these women out here running their mouths now, man, non-stop. Especially the black women, man. And that just shows you that why, like apostles and elders always say, stay away from the hyenas, man. Talk about these black women, man. Because they ain't right in the spirit. They're the number one enemy associated with the devil, man.
Yeah. Please say.
They love playing the devil's advocate, man.
This is Jeremiah 31:22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth, a woman shall compass a man.
Yeah, that's called disorder, man. That's not heavenly, man. Like the brother gave the example. In the heavens, the Lord's all about order. What's the heavenly order? A man's over a woman. That goes into 1 Corinthians 11:3. It's the heavenly Father Yahweh, his son Yahweh Shai, then man and woman and children, man. But in this society, Esau puts the woman over the man. Just straight out of straight disorder. That just breeds chaos, man. Because a woman can't bring forth seed. So how the hell are you going to put her in the driver's seat? She's supposed to be led, not a leader, man. A woman's supposed to be led, not to lead. She can't lead herself in the right path. That's why these women change their fucking look from day to day, man. They don't know whether they're coming or going. They want to look this way, look that way, put on all these stupid wigs. You know? They want to feminize their children.
Yeah, you know, there's even like men nowadays like that are
Feminize the boys, should I say, emasculate the boys?
Yeah, men that are in a nuclear family setup, they'll always make the statement that daddy's the hated one. Because when you got children in this day and age, women will allow the children to do whatever the fuck they want, bro. Like they'll let the girls wear skimpy clothes, they'll go raving with their daughters, some bullshit.
Yeah.
Like they'll go partying with their daughters, have their daughters just
Trying to look like that, yeah, trying to look.
calling their daughter their sister, competing with their daughter for the same man.
Arguing over
Bro,
men, yeah.
Bro,
It's disgusting.
disgusting.
And then it tells you that as the mother is, so is the daughter.
Yeah,
That's in the scriptures, man.
yeah.
And then you know, they shit on the father, man. They want the they can get benefits. That's another thing, the reason why the woman's against the man.
Yeah.
Because she gets benefits from the government, from the so-called white man. The sugar daddy E.
Yeah.
It's easier sugar daddy, man. That's why the woman's against us. She's hypergamous, so she goes to the sugar daddy E to get all the little benefits and treats from him to come, even if it means coming against their own husband, man. And that goes back to the curses as well, written of in Deuteronomy 28. I should be evil towards her husband and the children of her bosom.
Yeah.
Child of her bosom. That's why a lot of these women can be committing murders, killing their own children, doing all kinds of wicked shit, man. You had to see an article the other day. Some Latino bitch, man, she's basically starved their child for 2 days or something like that for death.
Yeah,
All because over some petty shit, man. Little fucking baby just starved the damn child to death, man. Now she's facing prison time. But a lot of women just do wicked shit, man, because they're natural deviants, man. These women are deviants by nature.
Yeah.
That's why they need to be led.
Yeah. And the abortion thing as well, bro. A woman can abort your child without your permission, bro. Like, a woman could just wake up one day and just say, fuck him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have this child. Like, bro, she could be 6 months pregnant, bro. They'll still allow her.
9 months pregnant.
Bro.
And the government's with it as well. They'll sanction it.
Bro, it's insane, bro. And it's free.
It's
Free accessible, bro. She can go on the NHS, bro. Taxpayer money. Your tax is going towards enabling the killing of babies, bro. And
And if a black woman, you check out the stats, man. The nigger woman has killed so many millions of Israelite children, man, in the womb. You know, it's not even funny.
bro, it's not true.
They're actually first-degree murderers, man. They're moving like Cain out here.
Yeah.
They're just slaughtering their own children, man. Have no remorse because they want to live a city girl life.
Yeah.
They want to have that city girl summer and all that shit. And then when their coochie rotters out and they looking all dead and all that, and no one wants them anymore, that's when they want to run to the church, you know, and start waving their hands in the air, talking about, you know, I've been saved. Demons, man. Straight deviants.
So, if I can say, you gotta be careful with these fucking hookers, bro. Bro, I met a woman through work, yeah, and she told me that her best friend, black woman, of course, her best friend's got an STI incurable, bro. And she will proactively encourage men to just slap it in, bro.
Of course. Still having sex with men probably unstrapped.
Unstrapped, bro. Bro, telling me, yeah, she'll encourage men to not strap it up, bro, and just and plant it because she knows what her purpose is. She wants to infect as many people.
She's a sexual succubus. She's a succubus, basically.
Yeah.
She's a demon. You look like that bitch Cassie, man. She had STIs and she was still letting other men clap her.
Yeah, bro.
And other men, I heard other male escorts said they caught so many diseases that they filed lawsuits against her because they found out she had bare STIs and they obviously contracted it from having sex with her, which they shouldn't have been doing anyway. It was all adultery. So they got what they deserve. But they got it because she's a whore. She's a harlot, man. She's opening her quiver to every arrow. That's one of the curses in the scriptures about having a promiscuous daughter, man, or a promiscuous wife. That's why a woman's supposed to be controlled and kept in order, man. A woman come to you talking about I want to wear this skimpy dress and go to the club, or she wants to go on a girls' night out or a holiday or whatever. You're supposed to tell her no. So what do you mean? If you're not taking her, you're not going nowhere. Don't matter how she feels and you're controlling me. Yeah, you're damn right I'm controlling you because I'm trying to save you from yourself. Because these women are deviants, man. They're natural born deviants and they're always enticed by the devil quicker than a man is. Look at Eve, man. Because of Eve, now we have to die. You know, before Eve transgressed, men didn't know what death was. A man didn't know that he had to drop dead. Man can live forever. Literally. Man was born to live forever. But because of the nigger woman, we started to taste death in the earth. That's how much of a serpent and a deviant these women are, and then they still wipe their mouth and act like they ain't done nothing wrong. Because of the nigger woman, now we have to taste death. We have to be buried into a grave, man. Now how fucked up that is. All because of her betrayal. And she didn't want to follow orders. She basically didn't want to take orders. She basically disregarded the orders of her man, of the Most High, and then her man.
But she'll always shift the blame because women don't have accountability, bro. When Eve got confronted, she said, the serpent did it. It was the serpent's fault. The serpent.
That's why the Lord cursed your damn womb, man. That's why to this day you women go through them labour pains, man. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. And then you got that bald head as well. That itchy bald ass head. You keep snapping wigs and extensions.
You see that pat, the head pat.
Yeah.
You see the head pat on
And
the
all these bitches wear extensions and
you see that?
and they got the big ass foreheads, shiny ass foreheads, and they got the layers and all that, trails, the tracks and all that underneath their wigs and all that. You know, that's not a beauty. That's not beauty. That's called burning, basically. That's not beauty.
Well, whether like this when they're sweating under that wig, bro, and then they start doing it.
And they're contracting all kinds of fucking
Lice.
all kinds of diseases through their head because you're putting animal wigs on your damn head. You're supposed to put no animal's wig on your damn head.
Yeah. Bro, it's a shame. Can you imagine?
Animals are unclean, man.
It's a shame. Can you imagine if man was rolling around wearing artificial beards, bro? These women will be having a field day, man, laughing at me. Like, bro, these women will be out here literally going, like, enriching Elam and that, buying these fucking extensions.
Bro, the whole fucking hair and beauty alone, man, is run basically by the nigger woman, the woman of the tribes, man. If that hair and beauty didn't exist, man, you know, that would take half the economy down or something, man.
Bro,
Different because that's that consumerism. When it comes to consumerism and hair and beauty, man, ain't no one more invested in that than a nigger woman, man. Because she knows she's been cursed with that bald head and that burnt face that she's been getting. The Lord says she's gonna give you a burnt look, basically make you look ugly. So they try and do everything in their power to make them, make themselves look cosmetically beautiful. But then when they take that makeup off, they look like a totally different person, man. They look like Freddy Krueger and all that shit, man.
To show you that women are hypergamous, even away from the fact that they chase Esau Edom, they try and look like the Edomite woman heavy as well, bro. But when they get the wigs, they're not getting afro wigs, bro.
Straight.
The bitches are getting them straight.
That relaxed bullshit.
Relaxed hair with the fucking blown highlights and shit.
And they're dark as all hell, but you got some blonde wig in your head. They don't even look, it just looks stupid.
Yeah, bro.
And then you want to change your tone of your voice to sound like you're white as well. Then they start bleaching up the skin, like all the Nicki Minaj's and all these different
Little Kims.
all these bitches start bleaching up the skin.
Yeah.
Try and make themselves look lighter.
Yeah.
Beyonce, even though she's light skinned already, she's still bleaching up her skin.
Bro, it's all fucked up.
Serena Williams.
Serena, she's totally gone.
She's gone.
It's all fucked.
Gone. And then I see a picture of her the other day, she was with some gutter rat, her husband, and he just looks like a stain on the rug, man. And she's with him, she's married and breeding off his children.
Yeah, bro.
In the other pictures, she's got the blonde wigs and all that in her head. Totally gone, man.
guess
This is
what?
the nigga woman for you, bro. A fucking brute beast, man.
She's the role model for the woman of the tribes, bro. in
Yeah.
this kingdom, bro. So, you see how this turn out.
Demons, man. Go ahead.
It's Ezekiel 9:4, and the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city,
Oh, yeah, this is beautiful.
through the midst of Jerusalem,
Break it down.
and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
Yeah, because you see in this particular scripture here, from the top, it actually goes into the angels of the Lord coming to execute judgment, and it speaks about a group of angels coming out the temple, and then they all had a slaughter weapon in their hand, and then there was one angel that had a writer's inkhorn that was basically making the notes on who's going to die and who's going to be allowed to live. And then the Lord said unto that angel, listen, set a mark of distinction, and that's not the same mark as the charagma. That's the word in the Hebrew there is farwal, which is a mark of exemption. It said, set a mark of exemption upon the men that are in the right mentality, that are crying out against this place, man. So allow them basically, pretty much, like put a similar mark to what happens around the Passover on them, man. But then to everybody else that ain't got the sign of exemption, go on, bro. It's gonna tell you what he said, bro.
It says, and to the others, he said in mine hearing,
So the Lord even said, I want to hear it. I want to witness because you know the Lord ain't squeamish. Like, you know, like that's why the scripture says he'll put his anger in us. Because you can imagine, like the Lord says, we're gonna take their little ones and smash them against the stones. You can, as a man, you see a little child die. Ooh, like, you know, you might affect you some type of way. You go to sleep, you have nightmares, bro. The Lord ain't squeamish, bro. You get me?
Yeah.
People die in all kinds of different ways, bro.
if I can say as well, because even like you might hear like sad news, you
Yeah.
might hear of somebody dying or something, but you'll still kind of get that heartstring, like oh.
Yeah, yeah.
But imagine actually seeing it like it's there, and like
You
that's
can't the blood
different.
curling in the screens, bro.
So the Lord's got to put that spirit there.
Yeah, man.
It says, and to the others he said in mine hearing, Go ye after him through the city and smite, let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity.
So the Lord knew that people were going to be running. He knew they were going to be shook. He said, listen, chase them down. You know, the scripture speaks about the day of the Lord, and it speaks about like the day of the Lord. It's as if a man leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him running the bear man. And it's going to be like that kind of scenario where final destination, sinkhole opens, you escape. That is the fucking group of fake thieves waiting to get you. The next round the corner, car runs over you over when you get into the middle of the road. You just can't get away from it. Where the Lord is deep as well is like, there's so many different accounts, but one of the best ones is like with Saul, bro, when Samuel said, yo, you're going to die in battle, bro. So, even though Saul knew he was going to die, there was no preparation he could make to stop that from happening, bro. Him and his son had to go, bro. He couldn't, like, he went there with his army. He knew that the Lord was trying to kill him, but he knew there was nothing he could do against it, bro. He just had to go to war and die, bro.
Yeah. A lot of these women, especially 2/3, man, because even going back to that video with the Philadelphia situation, was a woman crying on the video saying, "Oh, 911's blocked and can't get no, I can't speak to anyone." She's trying to stay in her house, isn't it? Basically, she said, "I'm not going outside," and you know, because you know what time it is. Once there's lawlessness in the city and the lights go out, you know, grids gone off and all that stuff, and no ambulance, no fire, emergencies and all that services or NHS, you know, health services. People lose their fucking marbles, man. Start looting them, shooting and polluting, and that goes as the second as 15. You know, from 14 on down, you know, it's just straight chaos. Sedition amongst men, purge season, man. That's basically what that is. You know, because there's not going to be no law and order. So without law and order in the cities, man, you know, these women know they ain't got no protection, no hedge over them, man. Because they trust in the so-called white man to instead of trusting in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, they put all their trust and faith in Egypt. The Lord said, woe unto you that put your trust in Egypt. So in these last days, when that's going to be happening more and more, and it's not going to just be a one-day thing where service is going to come back after 24 hours. It can last for a couple of weeks to a couple of months. Then what you're going to do? Then that means it's straight wild, wild west out there. You women are going to be fucked. That means houses are going to be getting broken into. You and your daughters are going to be getting ravished by groups of men or one man, whatever, and no one's going to come to your aid. He might rape you one day and notice that the coast is clear again. There's no police and all that, no one coming, and then come back and do it again. You might make it an habitual thing, man.
They say that in the
Until you start falling in love with him and shit like that. Yeah, it's gonna be like the road, man. It's gonna be straight lawlessness.
She broke it down.
No law and order, man. That's what it's gonna be. And the Lord's gonna be with it, man, because it's gonna be the time of Jacob's trouble. He's gonna let Jake catch untimely hell like never before.
Yeah, bro.
All these different house raids and people killing each other mercilessly for the lack of bread, and for great tribulation. The Lord's with it, man. And he's gonna let Esau come through and start wiping you niggas out as well to restore so-called restore order. Because that's what Esau wants. He needs the order to have chaos, man. Order through the chaos, so he can basically establish his new world order with his police, martial law troops and shit like that. National Guard.
I say as well, like a lot of these men in the world, bro, they're gonna seek revenge on you women, bro, hard, bro.
Of course.
But
Especially women that walked out on your husbands,
yeah,
filed for divorce and want child benefits and basically taking the piss, man.
yeah, bro. Don't let your husband see the children, bro.
Yeah.
Like sexless marriages, bro. Yo, all of that shit, bro. People are gonna lose their mind.
Payback's a bitch, man.
Payback's a bitch. You even got these single whores that are out in the club every Saturday, like just disrespecting men. Like, bro, like today they're having that weekend of wireless festival.
Wireless
Another,
bullshit.
bro, you get women, bro, that will go on the London Underground naked, blood. Basically naked, bro. I
Go in
was
that area right now, it's roadblock. Can't
Yeah.
even get into that area unless you're going to that function. This is roadblock, no point.
yeah, bro.
But like you say, yeah, it's basically like carnival.
Yeah,
It's
man.
carnival.
But women can just come out naked, bro. They can come out in the bra and underwear, bro. And you, as a man, bro, you can't even look at them the wrong way. They'll arrest you, bro. Like, bro, then that day, blood. Yo,
It's all Bacchus over there right now. Bacchanali and all that. That's what they're celebrating over there. And the festivals, the different festivals, man.
bro, that's-
Fertility worship and shit like that. Pussy worship. And then at the same time, yeah, so when all hell breaks loose, man, it's going to be lights out with a lot of you women. No one's going to come to your aid. Then you're going to be crying for a man of the Lord to come and save you, man. That's when then you're going to know who the real prize is. Because you women out here thinking you're the prize. You're not the prize, man. You're going to find out that you women were never the prize. It's always been the man. Adam was the prize, man, not Eve. You know, because the woman came the seed of man. The man was born of a woman, not the woman of a man, basically, as it says in 1 Corinthians. So the man is the prize. The man's going to be more precious than fine gold. Not just any man too, but a man of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Especially when all hell's breaking loose. The man's going to be hiding from the wind, from all these different house raids and so on and so forth, all the martial law and all that. You know, all the famines and all these things that's going on, pestilences, and the straight out civil unrest, civil war, disobedience, you know. That you women are going to be searching for the man of the Lord, man. And a lot of men are going to die in the war too. A lot of men are going to be drafted over there to the Middle East. Your husbands and your little Tyrones and little Pookies and Ray Rays. They're going to be drafted over there to the Middle East to die. So the men are going to be lacking. Real men are going to be lacking. So who are you going to turn to?
Verse 6, it says, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women.
That's your grandma as well, your mama. The Lord don't play, your great grandmother. Like, bro, the Lord, like, the thing with the Lord is that, like, there's no respect to persons. Like, it don't matter whether you love your grandma and she's the sweetest thing to you. The Lord will take you. The Lord knows your weaknesses and your vices as well, and He will allow the left hand to just fuck with you, especially if you're not right, man. Like that's why even us, we don't know if our family, bro, are gonna make it or not. Ultimately, it's down to the Lord. We pray that the Lord delivers us in our household, but all of us got wicked relatives, bro. It's like I've got relatives that straight up cursed up the truth, talking about what the fuck you're in a car. You know what I mean?
Lot's wife.
Yeah, Lot's wife.
Even Job's wife.
Job's wife.
She
Exactly,
fucked out.
bro. Exactly, bro.
So it's young and old, man. Young maids and older women as well. They're all going to get it. The Lord says, don't matter if you're young or old, man. If you're on the Lord's hit list, that's it. That's your ass, man. Death angels going to target you and take your ass out. But we know that a lot of women, especially the nigger women, are going to be wiped out, man. Because we don't need you, man. Like you say, you think we do. We don't need you, black women, man. Evidence of that right now is the passport bros. That's why men are going traveling in different parts of the earth, seeking other different nations, women and all that, because they're more subjective and more subordinate, so to speak. You know, they're more submissive, man, and they take instructions well. Like the nigger woman's one of the main things about the nigger woman that she's just disobedient, man. She doesn't want to follow instructions, man. She's very disingenuous and very argumentative. You know, that goes into that word clamorous, man. And simple-minded as well, being simple. It tells you in Proverbs 7. A foolish woman is clamorous and all that. Simple, man. She knoweth nothing, basically. So that's the nigga woman's traits, man. She doesn't like to follow instructions, especially from the Israelite man. If it's a so-called white man, she'll follow instructions. But if it's her husband, she's always going to try and fight against it. There's always going to be that tension, man. She's just rebellious. And that goes back to Eve. She was rebellious against Adam.
Yeah. And like I say as well, it's not like these women, even though they're allergic to it, it's not like they don't know how to follow instructions, because they'll follow instructions from their boss. And they'll work their hours because they depend on him for survival.
They even tried to say that in that podcast. Like, men were saying it because it's men being working with women and all that. And they're saying, yeah, but you take orders when you go to the office. You take instructions. You don't ask why. Everything. When my husband's at home and he tells you, make me a sandwich or do this, do that, first thing that's going to come out of her mouth is why. Instead of yes, husband, yes, love, and all that, she's going to say why. Basically rebellion. But when you're in the office and your manager comes to you and tells you, go and do this, you don't ask him why, because you're going to get fired. Right. How dare you open your mouth and say why? I told you to do something, follow the orders and do it. Fucking go and do it. Even if he speaks to you in a rude manner, you'll do it, man. But the black women think like, you got to say it to me nice. It's not how you say it. It's not what you say. It's how you say it. Now fuck all that, man. I tell you to do something, go and fucking do it, man. What about if it's to save your life? You're going to be crying about how I said it. Right. That's why we don't deal with like all that emotional shit. Men are straightforward. We don't deal with fucking emotions like women do.
Yeah, I say, and that's what Esau Edom's fault, because he's taken a relationship and he's romanticized it. Like when ancient women got with men back in the day, really, like even sometimes when you had arranged marriages from the parents, it was to strategical alliances. And
the woman had no say.
The woman had no say. It was
you don't care if he was crying, bare buckets of tears. Your dad said you're gonna marry this damn that prince. You're gonna marry him, man. Shut the fuck up, man.
You're gonna learn to love him. You're
gonna learn to love him, man. And if you betray me or do something stupid and go open your legs beforehand, then I'm gonna have to disown you and cut your damn fucking head off. Yeah, there's punishments for that, man.
Exactly. But then you see Esau, he'll push fucking even though they ain't representative of Jake, like Disney movies, like Aladdin and shit, and where the woman's supposed to be promising someone and then she just finds the street guy and then falls in love with him.
Street fuck. It's always a street fuck, man. Fuck off the road.
And he's a superhero. You know what I mean? And then they make the prince that's supposed to marry look like the bad guy. You know what I mean? Like,
it's always some adultery shit. But that shows you that's Esau as well. That goes back to them Jays. Because they know that how marriages are supposed to be arranged. But they purposely put that in the cartoons to make it look like, that's this form of total control over the woman. She's not free. She doesn't have a choice of free choice of her own.
Her feelings matter.
Yeah, her feelings matter. You start singing them ballads and shit. Like, a woman is supposed to have no free liberty of choice, man. She's as I said, she's a prisoner of her household, man. Her father, and then she's a prisoner of her husband. That's what a woman is. She's a possession, man. She's not supposed to have a mind of her own. Look at Eddie Murphy's first wife. His wife she was basically groomed for him. She didn't have a mind of her own. She said, "What you kept asking her, what do you like?" He said, "Anything you like, man. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite color?" She basically said, "I was made to worship you." That's what a woman's supposed to do. She's supposed to worship her man. That's what the scripture says. The Lord said, "Man shall rule over them." You're supposed to worship and reverence your man, not no other man. You know, your husband. That's it. That's the order, man. So anything he likes and he does, you're supposed to be at his beck and call for that.
Facts.
That's what Eddie Murphy, that whole situation with Eddie Murphy and that princess in that first coming to America was all about, man. Which just shows you that's order. Because there's nothing wrong with that. He looked at it like it was strange. Like, hey, you got a mind of your own and all that. Nah, she's not supposed to have a mind of her own. Anything she does is supposed to be around you. Her life, her whole world revolves around pleasing you.
That's the order.
And she brings forth your children, and she looks after you, and she bring up the seed and does her job. That's it. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just it's called maintaining the order. And you notice, like, there are happy households where women actually listen to and follow the instructions of their man. In the West, they teach it like to say it's a form of control, and that's it's wicked, or it's toxic, and all this toxic bullshit. It's not toxic. It's called righteous, man. Because when you ain't got no righteousness order, look what you've got. Now you got Lily Phillips. Yeah, that's what happens when you ain't got no fucking order, man. You get Lily Phillips wanna bang 1,000 dudes in one day, getting pissed and shitted on camera for a few bucks, man. You get Cassie getting pissed and shitted on, man, for 20 mil. What happens when you ain't got no law and order, man? You get disorder. That's why the niggas are there. So to stop the whoredom, man, the scripture said there should be no whores of the daughter of Babylon, daughter of Israel, man. So it's the daughters of Babylon. It's lucky. We already know Babylon's a straight whore anyway. That's a representation of America. America's a whore and a slut. But the daughters of Israel are not. There's not supposed to be a whore among them. So that's why we have these law, statutes, and judgments in place in the first place. Because the Lord knew already what the mindset of what Jake would do, and how, you know, the sexual nature of Jake. Because we obviously, men like sex, women like sex, but it's supposed to be a certain order in how you do things, man. It's just for this pleasure. Yeah. We bring forth sex was set forth to bring forth life, to procreate and bring forth life. Lord said, "Be fruitful, multiply." Through the act of sex, it's a fun way to bring forth life, you know. But we can't run it, you know. Jake run it into, not everything's over sexualized. Run it into the ground. Yeah. And then you get all these Lily Phillips and all these different Bonnie the Blues and all these other whores and sluts out here, man. Straight lawlessness, man, recklessness, and diseases.
So even amongst Jake, because like you look at Benjamin, that whole dancehall culture is just sex.
Well, you got Vibes Cartel tomorrow at that same festival. So you know niggas are gonna go bonkers, man. I spoke to one guy, he's Jake, white Irish Jake. He bought a ticket and he said, yeah, he's gonna be daggering everything. That's the first thing he said to me. I'm gonna be daggering, and his name's Jordan as well. It's funny enough. His name is Jordan. He's a Jake, white. He's a white Jake. He sells fruit and veg where I'm at, like. So I buy fruit and veg from him. He's cool, man. He's cool, Jake. But he's obviously of the world. But yeah, he bought a ticket to go to this Vibes Cartel.
I'm gonna dagger everything.
He said, I'm gonna dagger everything. I was like, look at that, see? And he said, because he knows. He said, like, look, man, he sees it, man are with their women and all that, but they don't care. And you see that nowadays, even on videos. You got men with their women out with their women, and the women are getting drawn right in front of their husbands, man. And husbands are standing there like a security guard, not saying nothing, man. It's wicked, man.
It's wicked, bro.
Pure adultery, man.
Yeah, bro. It happens all the time, man.
That's why you're having shootouts like you had that other day in Chicago, man. The Lord's letting you niggas wipe each other out. Because you niggas are wicked as all hell, an adulterous generation, man. How you gonna be with your wife and another man come in front of you and push you to the side like your security and start chirping your girl in front of you, man, holding her hand, pulling out the phone, and she's all there interacting with it, getting like, you know, happy about the situation in front of her fucking husband. Even if your husband wasn't there, it's not supposed to be like that. It's even 10 times worse. Your husband standing in front of you. That just shows you total betrayal, total disorder.
The next man on IG.
Straight wickedness, man. But that's it's trend. Anything that's trendy on TikTok, these fucking degenerates follow, man. That's another new trend out there.
Oh, that's crazy.
Draw a gal in front of his hubby.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Wicked as all hell.
That's crazy.
No longer you don't have to creep behind a man's back no more. You're gonna creep in front of him.
Oh.
And then guys turn into Adam 22s.
Yeah, that guy. And now his wife doesn't even, and she said it, she's not attracted to him no more.
Crazy.
Because she's been beat out by the black dude. You know the term, once you go black, you never go back. She got beat out by him once, and then she done another video with him. And there's other women that slept with him saying it's the best deed they've ever had. So she's just fully gone. She's not even attracted to her husband no more. Because he's a flamer anyway. He's a mo. He goes both ways. So she's not satisfied by him anyway. So now she's just satisfied. They're just married to the simple fact they got a contract. And it's like a business contract, man. But other than that, she's not into him no more. She's not attracted to him, none of that. She's come out and said it a few times.
That's crazy, man.
On different podcasts and that. That's wicked as all hell. But that's what happens when you just let your woman do her own thing. Once they betray, like sleep with another man, you ain't never getting that back, man.
The land is polluted.
Yeah, Jeremiah, get that, Jeremiah. You can't go back to that. That shit's done. It's never gonna be the same, man. Every time you look at her, you're just gonna feel disdain. You're gonna have a disdain for her, man. Even if you do plug it in, you're not gonna feel good in yourself. You're just gonna feel like, nah, I need to get away from it. You know, you just feel like you just done something you shouldn't have done.
Yeah, even biologically,
cheap thrills.
Biologically, women are not made to just have multiple partners.
They're not, man.
It's not set up like that. It's not set up like that. They hold a seed for 9 months, and even after the birth, they gotta have a purification ritual as well, bro. It's not like it's not set up the same, bro.
Yeah, that Lena the plug bitch, man. She said it, man. I'm not attracted to him. That's crazy. I don't love him like that. He's like she started getting D from someone else. It's wicked, man.
This world's finished.
This world is done, man.
It's normal.
Yeah.
Bro, I watched one video on YouTube. There's this guy, a Jake guy, that's a PT, and he felt guilty. I think he said he didn't do it, but you never know. Like he said, like he would set up a PT session with women, and like he would
that's
get
the
the husbands coming with the woman, bro, talking about she likes Pilates and
Of course she does.
she likes
When he's there.
Yeah, exactly, bro. And then as soon as the husband's gone, they'll be training with him. And then a couple of weeks will pass, and they'll be like, "Oh, your muscles, it's just so muscular."
man. Move into it.
And next thing you know, oh, you should come over. My husband's barely shows me attention. He's always working.
he's partying.
And you know, he's in there, bro. And then there's a woman in this shit as well, which shows you, bro. The women are just opportunists. Bro, like
They're not faithful, man.
They're not faithful.
They're not faithful, man.
they don't love you, bro. The women don't love men. They're in love with their hair, bro. The glory of a woman is their hair, bro.
It's a man that's in love with the woman. Because a man's glory is the woman. A woman's glory is her hair. That's why a man will go over to lose his mind for a woman, but a woman wouldn't necessarily lose her mind for a man unless there's certain ties involved, like he might be with a rich man or something. It's that nature. But other than that, her thing is her glory, her looks, her beauty. That's why he was concentrating on how good they look and shit like that.
And even taught me something. He said one time, and it's a true statement. He said a woman can be out of shape. She could be broke as hell, like no milk in the fridge. But if she's outside, you're gonna see her with her nails done and the wig on. Because at the end of the day, they always gotta have that facade,
even just to go to work, they be dressing up all differently, like you know, they're putting on the skimpiest dress, tightest shirts and all that, trying to make sure everything's showing and curvaceous. Tie up their hair, whatever, doing to make sure their hair is nice and tight, put all the makeup everywhere, make sure it's all done proper, and then go to work and, you know, start flirting in the job.
Start getting fucked in the fucking photocopy.
When she's home with you, she's all hairs all over the place, got the bonnet on, stupid hair bonnets, wearing pajamas or just wearing a fucking bathrobe with slippers. Talk about I'm going to the corner shop, do you need anything? Some hood slippers and all that. Looking like some hood rat.
It's fucking smoking a vape.
But when you first met her, she wasn't looking like that.
Yeah,
she was looking all like proper. You know, first few dates she was looking proper, wearing all the tight dresses, and all of a sudden she got comfortable, started just loose bottom, wearing your t-shirt. She don't, you know, just looking all rough.
Yeah, shit.
Fuck with that, man. Go ahead.
It's Jeremiah 3:1. They say, if a man put away his wife, and she go from him, and become another man's, shall he return unto her again?
Yes, Adam 22, you should have learned from the scriptures, even though you're a Edomite, you're a heathen. Your name's Adam. You should have at least learned what happened to Adam in the scriptures. If you want to know how to control your woman, or what's going to happen if your woman departs from you, you should have left that bitch alone, man. As soon as she went out, and you made her do it anyway. You was down with her to commit adultery because you're a Mo, as I said, and you ain't right in the spirit. So that's the spirit of Esau anyway. He likes making his wife, like he likes being a cuckold basically. He likes letting these women go out there and sleep with other men. That's one of Esau's traits. Showing you that the spirit that's in him is not upright. You know, they like sharing their wives and shit. Especially the older Edomites, man. Freaks of nature. But then you should have known that if you try and go back to that, that shit's gonna be utterly polluted. She could have all kinds of diseases or whatever, man, but furthermore, she's not going to be intact. That bond that you once had is going to be broken, man. Especially that sexual bond. That shit's gone. You know, she's another man's, man. Once a woman cheats on you, that's it, man. She's gone. The relationship's done. Now, a man could sleep with another woman or multiple women and come back to the first wife or second wife and be A-okay. Because when we have sex with women, it's not a thing of emotions. It's about busting them up, you know, and just keeping it moving. Fulfilling your lust of their flesh, basically. But when a woman has sex with a man, she has to have a whole mindset, everything, all her emotions are involved. So she has to be fully into that man to make her bust her, open her legs to him. So once she does that, it's over, man. She's going to come back to you. Or even if you try and go back to it, it's not going to be the same, man. You're just going to be looking at her all differently, man. When you're around her, you're just going to be looking at her strangely, you know, like you smell some funky smell. That's how you're going to be looking at her. You're just going to be looking at her with disdain. Like, this can't be my wife. Like, this ain't the woman I first met. She's a whore. Why am I around her, man? Let me get away from this bitch, man. Especially if you've had kids with her. That's the worst one. That's why you got a lot of these situations with the baby mama dramas and the baby fathers. He's out of the picture, but he keeps coming back once in a blue moon to hit it and quit it, and then goes back in circles and all that. And the baby mama's still out there. She's opening her legs to other men as well. It's all nastiness going on. It's all pure adultery, pure wickedness. That's why that single mother, baby mama shit is straight wickedness, man. But that's also another thing Esau perpetuates in society. Single baby mothers, especially for the Israelite women, you women of the tribe. He loves it when he hears that your man's out of the house. He loves it when he hears that you're a single parent and you ain't got no husband. Because that means you're open for the kill. You know? And that means your foundations are all fucked up. Because that's how Esau divided and conquered us in the first place, from the household, man. So that baby mama drama is as wicked as all hell, man. But that's another thing and you find out a lot of these baby mamas as well, a lot of them are strippers, a lot of them have their OnlyFans. So it's just straight whoredom, man. It's just, there's nothing righteous about it. Then they're raising their kids to be fucking delinquents and degenerates.
In this society,
end up in the prison, end up in the system, you know, one way or another. It's all fucked, man.
In this society, bro, OnlyFans culture was normalized to the point where there was even one case, there was a woman, a teacher, and then the children found her OnlyFans, and then she was like, oh, what's it called? I wasn't harming anybody. You know, it's not my fault. They found it. I don't think I should have been sacked for it. So, bro, like, and they asked her straight up, but like, do you feel like, you know, like you've negatively impacted these children and sexually influenced them? Oh no, you know, like it's just a pair of tits. What's wrong with, you know, like these are the kind of women that are teaching your children, bro, that are actually raising fucking the next generation. That's why this place must be destroyed, bro.
It must be.
Has to be, bro. Has to go.
Because it just don't make no fucking sense.
Say Gen Z, man.
It's just too far gone. That's why I said the only thing left is the fire, man.
Yeah.
After the MOT to the B, the only thing left for this place is pure fire and destruction, man. Because this place is past the deeds of the wicked. All them ancient wicked kingdoms can't even amount to the wickedness that this kingdom has polluted the way this world is polluted.
100%, bro. 100%.
The way of this world today.
It's fucked.
The way they push all this LBT-isms and everything that's against the scriptures, against righteousness, man. This place just like is the helm of wickedness, man.
Yeah.
This place is a living hell. Literally, man.
Yeah, bro. Like, you got grown adults trying to argue. They got to take it to a court to identify what a woman is, bro. They got to go to court and then have a court tell you what a woman is. And then you still got people, and even when they rule that a woman is biologically born that way, you still got people like, no, fuck that. No, we ain't accepting, bro. This is crazy here, man. This is fucked.
It's fucked, man.
It's fucked.
That's why we need the other shot. We signing crying, man. You read it in Ezekiel 9. I don't know if you read that precept, but you read 9:4. But we're sighing and crying, man. This is the things that we're sighing and crying about. We don't want to see our women and our children be in a degenerate state no more, man. The Lord said he hates these. Someone get that in Ezekiel 22. He said he's gonna burn Jake, man. He's gonna melt you niggas, man. Because you become the dross. You become so impure in your mind and heart, and your evil deeds on the earth, and you turn it to sort his children to the fact where he has to melt you, man. The Lord said he's gonna take pleasure in melting you.
Yeah.
Because you niggas are so far gone, revolted and gone, as the scripture says in Jeremiah. You're revolted and gone, the whole head is sick. So only the elect are the ones that are the remnant are sighing and crying for all the abominations that stand in the midst of. We need deliverance, we need Yahweh Shai. We need to get the fuck up out of here, man, because this ain't the kingdom of heaven, man. This is the kingdom of hell. And if you don't understand that or know that, then you're part of the fucking problem, man. You think, oh, everything's just the way it's supposed to be, and as long as it's not affecting me, I don't mind. That means you're an enabler. So you're part of the problem. You're part of the fucking problem. Then you're both an abomination. And the Lord's got to get rid of both of you, basically.
If you're thinking like that, it has affected you.
Yeah,
Now you're in the right mind.
you know, because you've been desensitized to the wickedness, basically.
Yeah.
You've just been accustomed to so much wickedness and just become normal now. So and when you hear the Diddy stories, because all the wickedness, when his stories first came out, everyone was like, jaw dropped and all that. He's pissing on women, he's wiping sperm on his chest. But then after a few weeks, everyone started to justify the wickedness. They was even happy when he found out he didn't get RICO and all that. Acting like he got set free. He's still in jail now, waiting to be sentenced. But he's probably going to get a light sentence, slap on the wrist, showing you that the whole justice system is all fraud. But people are like celebrating and enabling his wickedness. But all the wickedness he's been doing, he actually was trafficking people, but it wasn't the people you think he was. He was trafficking little children, man. But they kept that out of the law case, the court case. The fact that he had unlicensed weapons, he would have gone to jail for 10 years for that alone. They kept that out of the court case. They got him for some stupid prostitution and all that, basically like a pimp. They got him for some pimp charges or the Mann Act and all that. That's basically what they got him for. But you left out the gun charges, all them illegal guns, putting guns in people's faces, threatening people, threatening acts of violence, blowing up people's cars. You didn't charge them for none of that. And the actual trafficking of little children. People were saying they were seeing little children at the parties, man. What about all that? And actual video footage of all them different sexual acts that he was. There had to be some blood sacrifices in those videos, man. That shit wasn't just sex, having normal sex. There's all kind of rituals going on in them different parties. So all that shit got swept under the rug because this society is built upon that. It's built upon lies. It's built upon sadism, Satanism. It's built upon witchcraft, man. That's why America's birthed from Freemasonry, which is all witchcraft. These are the things that they do. So that's why they're not gonna. They're gonna throw him under the bus, but they're not gonna expose everything they done. That's why they didn't want to expose Epstein as well. The same thing Epstein was doing. He was trafficking little children, underage girls, into a fucking private island. All these celebs and politicians will go there and start having their way. And he's got video footage of all of them. So of course they're gonna get rid of that guy. Because he was using that information against them, probably blackmailing them or whatever. Compromise, he called it compromise. You know? And then they said he was working for Mossad and all that. So this society is built upon wickedness. But it's just, there's enablers as well, like people that justify it for wicked. They need to be taken out as well, man. That's why this whole place has got to be wiped out. Go ahead, yes, sir.
Yeah, so Ezekiel, the 22nd chapter, verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Now, thou son of man, wilt thou judge the bloody city? Yea, thou shalt show her all her abominations. Then say thou, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, the city sheddeth blood in the midst of it, that her time may come and maketh idols against herself to defile herself.
And that's what Jake's known for doing, man. Worshipping the different idols, following the way of the heathen. Like we were saying, right now they're celebrating Bacchanalia, which is a Roman festival, a heathen festival going back to the Romans. Over there in fucking North London, the women are all running around half naked in the park, frolicking and all that, and committing adultery and all that shit to the sounds of music and all that, man. To the sounds of beats and drums, you know? It's total wickedness, man, total wild behavior. It's acting like brute beasts, but it's the same shit that was doing in ancient Rome, same shit that was doing in ancient Babylon, man. Worshipping the different idols. This is what the Lord told us not to do when we got into the Holy Land, and we did it. And that's why we got kicked out of the land. And then the heathen came in and took the land.
It says, that her time may come and maketh idols against herself to defile herself. Thou art become guilty in thy blood that thou hast shed, and hast defiled thyself in thine idols which thou hast made, and hast caused thy days to draw near.
Days to draw near, what? Days of judgment to draw near, which we're in the midst of right now. They jump down to where it says, I'll melt you. And get Proverbs 17 and 15. If you type in melt you, then it'll come up.
One second, you got that, man. Ezekiel, 1 second.
Just type in melt and it'll come up.
This is Ezekiel 22 and 20. As they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of the furnace to blow the fire upon it to melt it, so will I gather you in my anger and in my fury, and I will leave you there and melt you.
So the Lord's going to melt 2/3 of Jake, man, in modern day Babylon, which is America, the daughter of Babylon, Babylon the Great. The Lord said he's going to melt you there, man, because you niggas is all wicked as all hell. And we see it, you got countless accounts of Jake just doing too much, doing too much, man. Just doing too much. You got a whole website dedicated to wicked ass Jakes, world star hip hop. showing you the degeneracy of our people, man, and what they get into, and how they're just misguided and just straight up just lost in the source. You know, just a bunch of niggas and niggettes that need to be eradicated, man. You got a whole website dedicated to you. I remember even over here, you had Spiff TV back in the day. Same like World Star Hip Hop.
I remember that.
That was like the British version of all these degenerates in England, how they, you know, they conduct themselves in society. And they're still running that website to this day, man. So Jake hasn't changed. Jake is getting worse. So they need to be melted, because they're part of that dross, man. They need to be put in that cauldron and be burnt away. That cauldron is going to be that nuclear fire, man. That's going to totally toast the whole of America. Go ahead. Let's read that quickly and then.
This is Proverbs 17 and 15. He that justifieth the wicked and he that condemneth the just, even they both are abomination to the Lord.
Yeah, so both the enablers and the antagonists, or whatever you want to call it, they both need to be judged, man. They both need to be taken out, especially if you're just acting like it's nonchalant and, you know, people can just do what they're doing. That means you need to be taken out also, man. That's why that's why, you know, like from the law was very straightforward in the ancient world. There will be straight, harsh judgments, man. If you see anything, you know, going against the scriptures, you have to judge it right there and there, and the person's blood will be upon them. The Lord didn't let it linger and all that, fester and all that. The Lord said, cut that leaven out right where it stands, man. So that wickedness will be cut out from Israel. Because the Lord ain't gonna he ain't got time to let things fester. Straight hardcore judgments. That's why, you know, the Lord had to give us grace on this side. Because if we were still living by the laws, statutes and judgments right now, most of us would be dead. Most of us would be dead because the laws are just they're straightforward, but they're, you know, what's the word?
Well, they're perfect, isn't it?
They're perfect, but they're like there's no leeway basically. It's either yay or nay, man. If you do something against the Lord's word, you got to suffer the consequences, man. There's no leeway, man. There's no grace period basically. Now we got grace because of Yahweh Shai, and he became that ultimate sacrifice. But back then in the ancient world, Jake would have sin offerings and all of that, and they ran that into the ground. They pissed the Lord off even with that, and he got tired of the sin offerings. Because Jake would just be committing sin, you know, habitually, man. You know, willingly. And then all of a sudden they got a dove or, you know, a goat or whatever to sacrifice for sin and all that. You know, so there was premeditated sins, like committed premeditated crimes, you know, pre-crimes and shit. So the Lord was like, nah, man, you guys ain't sincere. I'm getting rid of all that sin offering shit. You know, you're taking the piss, basically. So when Yahweh Shai come, you became that grace period that we have right now to get it right. The Lord ain't gonna come and die for us again. He died for the nation of Israel one time and one time only. You're gonna come down here and die again, go through all that torture, all that grievous
pain,
grief and all that. You're gonna go through that, all that, you know,
being acquainted with grief again, like sweat and blood.
Yeah, man, getting the crown of thorns put on his head, getting beaten, buffeted and all that. You're gonna go through that again, man. Have to drink bare wine because of the headache of Jake. He became a wine bibber because it was the stress that Jake was putting on him, man. To drown his sorrows in that wine bottle. You ain't gonna do that again, man. He done that one time only. Ultimate sacrifice, man. It's us that need to get it right this time. That's why the Lord said he's made a new covenant. And this time, the second covenant, we ain't gonna get it wrong. Because the Lord's gonna put the law, statutes, and judgments in our new bodies, man, innately. You know, the heart of flesh, get rid of the stony heart, the heart of rebellion. You know? Like when we came out of Egypt, we still had the heart of rebellion. So the Lord's going to give us the heart of flesh, where we're just going to keep the laws perfect, man, from birth. And we're never going to taste death. So we're just going to keep it straight, perfect, and righteous from day dot. You know? And even our seed, same thing. And when they come out of the womb, they're just going to be righteous. You know? So that's how we're going to, and the Lord's going to have to do that. Part of the second covenant. That's the second covenant when Yahweh Shai returns. So we ain't never gonna go off ever again.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 8.
Swear to everything.
Yeah,
2nd Ezra chapter 8 and verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. But understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee.
Yeah, break it down.
go on,
Read it again. 2nd Ezra 8 and 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride.
Yeah, man, because we're in a time where we're going to see a time of trouble such as has never been seen upon the face of the planet Earth before, man. You got it to where, for years, all of the last portion of the ancient prophets have been out here calling out against this kingdom, man. Calling for the Lord Yahweh Shai to bring great destruction upon Babylon and the compadres, which also incorporates the so-called United Kingdom, so-called Great Britain. You got it to where we've been praying to the Lord to destroy this place for so long, and when he brings this judgment, it's going to be a time of trouble such as no other. Habakkuk said that when he saw the Lord, he had to, destruction that he came with, he had to question whether the Lord was angry at nature and the rivers and the trees itself because of the great way that he came. Ezra saw the destruction and was worried, man. You know, all of John the Revelator, when he saw the destruction through the visions while he was on the Isle of Patmos, was fearful. But the time was coming, man. It's going to shake us up, man. Even we're going to be shook, straight up. But the Lord is going to give us that inkling, that spirit of wisdom, man, that's going to carry us through. No, Isaiah 33 and 6 being one of the foundation scriptures, but it's hugely important, man, because that's why we're doing this work, to build our house on the strong ground, man, not building our house on sand, so when the time of trouble comes, it gets swept away, or on, you know, on weak ground. We're making sure that we've got a solid foundation in Yahweh Shai.
It says, but understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee.
Yeah, so understand what's coming, and seek out the glory for men similar unto yourself, man. Basically, make sure that you're keeping yourself in the right spirit. What did King David pray unto the Lord when he knew he went off? In Psalms about the 55th chapter, I believe it was, he said, cast me not away from thy presence, and take not thy Holy Spirit away from me. You got to pray up that kind of prayer every single day, bro. Because the same way the angels rejoice when someone turns righteous, a brother turns righteous and finds this truth, the devils rejoice when they get a man out of this also, man. Ultimately, you know, in the scriptures we understand that the elect ain't gonna be deceived, but you gotta give diligence to make according to election sure. Be joyful every single day that you got this truth, man. Because I'm telling you, without this, we are finished, bro. Like, this is all that we got. If not for Yahweh Shai coming back and destroying Esau, Edom, and getting us out of the situation, we will be totally fucked. The reason we're so bold in this is because we know, as it is written, that Yahweh Shai is going to deliver and elect, whether we got to die for this or not, man. But the Lord's going to get us out of here one way or another. Go on, bro.
It says, for unto you is paradise opened, the tree of life is planted, the time to come is prepared, plenteousness is made ready, a city is builded, and rest is allowed, yea, perfect goodness and wisdom.
Yeah, look up that scripture in the Apocrypha, the truth that has been so long about shall be declared. Yeah, because like what it is that the original paradise that we lost was beautiful. Done, you know, the city that the Lord built in paradise, which was originally land of Israel, the land of the Garden of Eden was down there. Like, we're going to go back into a situation where we're going to go into the same land, but it's going to be beautified and even more plenteous than it was before. We're going to go into a time where, you know, like in the time of Solomon, stone was as silver was as gold. We're going to go into a time where literally we're even better off than that. We're going to have all sorts of sapphires, gemstones of different kinds, rubies that, you know, like onyx stones that Jake ain't even literally come across in this on this side. But gold and silver is just going to be a standardized item in the kingdom, man. We're going to be richer than Esau Edom can comprehend. You think the Rothschilds, the DuPont families, the Rockefellers are on levels today? You just wait and see. Go on, bro.
So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and 27. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched.
Yeah.
As for faith, it shall flourish.
Now, what's faith? Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Like it says in Hebrews 11. Through that, the elders obtained a good report. And through faith, we understand that the things that are formed in the world were formed of things that we do not see, man. So we understand that Yahweh Shai Ra'asah, we be members of the elect. As members of the Alahayim, we were behind forming the everything that you see, the firmaments, the earth, the bounds of the sea, the trees, everything that was set before us. If we are of the elect, we are the forerunners of our families, man. We are the chief of our families. Yahweh Shai Ra'azah, we members of that number. Just read that again for me, please.
It says, as for faith, it shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome.
Exactly, and corruption is going to be overcome. How is corruption going to be overcome? Because the righteous of the earth, the Israelites, are going to be put in a situation where our spirits and our bodies are going to be in sync. You see, right now, we got righteous spirits but wicked bodies. We're in these sins of flesh, like the Apostle Paul said. Hence why he wrote, like in one of his epistles, that which I would I do not, that which I would not is that which I do, because he was in a situation where no matter how hard he tried, eventually he'd make a mistake or slip up. And the 12 did as well. Peter thought he wasn't going to deny the Lord 3 times. But guess what? The Lord had told him, hey, it's going to happen, man. What happened? The cock crowed 3 different cock crowed after he denied the Lord, and he sobbed bitterly because he knew he gave into his flesh, man. You had Thomas that we spoke about earlier. He said, I'm not going to believe the Lord is resurrected until I handle him myself, man. Put my finger into his hands and feel him. And guess what? Those were moments of weakness. King David, when he committed adultery with Bathsheba, it was a moment of weakness. King Solomon, when he built those altars onto his wives, man, it was a moment of weakness. But we now, retrospectively looking at that, are doing this work, hopeful that the Lord will put us in a situation where he automatically perfects us and we never go back to those traits again. That's the faith. And it's gonna be manifested, the faith that we're gonna be perfected. Have strength like Wolverine and abilities to blast lasers out of our eyes like Cyclops and control it. Have the power to control and manipulate weather better than storm, like what Yahweh Shai did. That's the faith, man. And we believe we're gonna be given that and more, bro. Go on.
It says, and the truth which have been so long without fruit shall be declared.
The truth that has been so long without fruit shall be declared, man. The fact that we are the true children of Yahweh Shai. Go on to Wisdom of Solomon 5, please, brother. Because what it is that we are the children of Yahweh Shai, man. Whether the world wants to accept it or not, we are the Lord's chosen people. And for the longest, we've been the offscouring of the earth. They look at us as just niggas, spicks, and natives, man. Like they want to pay all of these reparations to these small hats for an event that never even really occurred, the Holocaust. But they don't want to pay nothing back for slavery. They compensated the slave owners. They had insurance policies for them. Even when they were shipping Jake on those boats, if a Jake went over or was thrown overseas, guess what? That slave owner will be compensated. I watched one video. At one point in time during slavery, they were compensating slave owners about $800 equivalent at the time for lost slaves that were thrown overboard. That's the equivalent of like 30 grand today. Do you understand how much money these devils have made of our plight? The plight of these people on the line right here, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We're gonna get ours, man. And it's the Lord's will. It's all prophecy. It's just about waiting for that time to happen. And you gotta have faith. Go on, bro.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him.
Yeah, and all these nations have afflicted us. It says in Psalms that all of these different nations were conglomerate against us. You know what that means? That means that they came up together with a plan to fuck us up. We were the common denominator and they wanted us out of there. Which shows you that we are the people of Yahweh Shai. Vocab Malone is out here talking about, I'd rather, you're the last people I'd want ruling over me. Because no one wants to accept that a group of so-called Negroes, a group of Hispanics, by this world standards, and Native Americans are going to be ruling over them, man. But go on, bro, read that again for me.
It says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him.
And even now we're standing in boldness. Even when we're weak, we're strong. Because the Lord has given us the true understanding of this word, man. Hence why we're able to come up against you, Vocab Malone, and all of you other scoffers, and confound you week in, week out. All of you so-called biblical scholars, we're above you in the spirit, man. We are the highest point under Yahweh Shai, under our apostles, man. We are the elite on the right hand side, and we counterbalance you on the wicked, man. Satan goes harder, we go harder, man. You know, through the spirit of Yahweh Shai, man, to make sure that ultimately we're pushing this righteous vibration of the word into this world, man. And there's nothing that you can do against the truth but for it. The more vocab Malone comes up against this truth, the more you waste your money on them flights. And I know that your superiors are putting pressure on you because they're spending a lot of money sending you around, bro. And you ain't delivering the results, you know. But the harder the left hand goes, the harder we go, man. Because at the end of the day, the Lord is about truth, man. The spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. And the prophecy is that Esau Edom is going to be obliterated. Obadiah 18, you're going to be burnt up, man. Every single one of you, your mamas, your children, the fathers, every single one of you, man. And Israel shall reign perpetually, man. Go on, bro.
I can say this as well, and that shows you all these other scoffers and all these, guys that are set up to try and, debate the Israelites and, basically the men of the Lord. Shows you that we got the truth, man.
Yeah.
Because they're not doing that to all these other people. Why is it that they're so after, if we're just nobodies, like it's a bunch of Negroes, so-called Negroes, just decided to put on garments.
Yeah.
If we're nobodies, then why is it that they're so
Fixated.
yeah on what we're saying? It's because they know we have the truth, man. But that's the spirit of the Lord. Because even if it wasn't us here saying it, the scripture say that the stones would cry out, man.
Yeah, bro.
So the truth is gonna win. The truth is gonna prevail, man. And we know we're in the last days
Yeah.
because this truth is being spread, man. So it just shows you that we're at the end, man.
That's right, man. Go on.
It says, and made no account of his labors. When they see it, that's a lot, if I can say as well, and they never want to give Jake the credit, man,
Yeah.
or the just dues, for all the inventions, all the, entertainment, everything that we do, man, our way of thinking, everything, because that gives us, the gifts of the Lord. They don't want to say, oh yeah, you are the people. They don't want to say, like even what is the scripture saying, in the place where it was said, you are not my people, there you shall be said, you are the sons of the living power. Talking about America, Babylon, but that's going to be acknowledged that, wherever the Lord's children are, the Israelites, the elect, we are the children of the Lord, man, the special chosen people above all people. But they don't want to teach that. They don't want to hear that.
We are the salt of the earth, as the scripture says. That means all of the trends are set by us. Like you look at all of this bullshit with this designer clothing, that overpriced shit. Like Esau, Edom ain't making that shit cool. It was made for Edomites, but ultimately Jake are the ones that wear that shit and ultimately set the trends, man. Jake are the ones that are popularizing that whole what's it called, a luxury fashion lifestyle, man. Jake are the ones wearing the Gucci's and Louis Vuittons and the Pradas and making that shit popular. Jake are the ones that are out here popularizing these sports. Jake are the ones that ultimately speaking, man, are the ones that popularize this musical culture. Like right now, they're all a huge portion of the country is in Finsbury Park in this Bacchanalia spirit, listening to Drake and all of these other fucking wrongins, but ultimately in Burna Boys and all the rest of it. But who's the one that normalized that Afro swing and the dance hall and hip hop and all of that shit? It's Jake, man. But they don't want to give Jake their credit, man. But like you said, ultimately speaking, we are going to be manifested as the kings of the earth, man. Under Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. There's nothing that you devils can do to stop it. No invention, no amount of money that you invest into shunning this truth is going to be able to prevent this. Go on, man.
It says, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for.
Yeah, because Israel rising up, man, and going back to our state as the kings of the earth, man, under Yahweh Shai, is the last thing that these nations are hoping for, man. The Moabites are hoping that they get the rulership seat next. It means Edomites are still in the mentality that their houses are going to continue forever. None of these nations really and truly believe that they're going to go down and we're going to be the next nation in power. But it's written in prophecy, man. When the book of Revelations, the 7th chapter, it speaks about 144,000 out each of the 12 tribes, man. There ain't no mention of any of these other nations. Japheth ain't in there. Ham ain't in there. And these other nations are Shem ain't in there. The Israelites are the one and only nation that are highlighted, man, pursuant to Deuteronomy 7 and 6, where the Lord said he chose us to be a special people above all. He didn't choose us because we were the greatest people. At that point in time, we were the smallest of all nations, but it was because he wanted to maintain the promise to our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. He made that promise for his namesake, and he's going to maintain that. Go on, bro.
It says, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for. If I can say on that as well, because a lot of these people, they're going to realize that they fucked up, and they're going to know that we were the chosen of the Lord when they see are people being beamed up, man. You know, the elect. You know, when they get beamed up into those so-called UFOs, the chariots of salvation.
Yeah.
You know, when America's getting pelted with nuclear missiles, you know, and being delivered all over the world wherever we've been scattered, they're gonna know, man. And whenever have we been, you know, delivered in such a fashion like that? That's why these nations, they're gonna be shocked, man, and they're gonna know that they messed up, you know, and they're gonna have to, you know, receive judgment, man.
Well, we came to America in slave ships, and we're gonna leave it in what they call the spaceships,
That's
man, the
right.
chariots of Yahweh.
That's it. We left. We came in poverty. We're gonna leave in style, man.
Yeah, 100%.
From riches to from rags to riches.
Exactly.
Literally, that's the whole Lazarus story right there, man. Lazarus and the rich man. We represent Lazarus, man. The ones on a you know, poorly, you know, on the bottom, so to speak. But we're gonna be rejuvenated by Yahweh Shai when he returns.
That's right.
Even in new bodies, man. We're gonna be made extraterrestrials, like I mentioned in Superman. His brothers are supposed to go to cinema and watch that. Eventually, might do that, or my brothers will watch it online. But even the reviews are saying it's not that great as it was supposed to be, because they basically turned Superman into a beta male, man. He's supposed to be the most, you know, the strongest man on the planet Earth. Kal-El, all powerful and all that. But they made him more emotional character in this one, man. It wasn't like the old Christopher Reeves, where it was just like straight up, people need help, I'm there, straight to destroy everyone, save the day, go about his business, Clark Kent role. On this one, he's more emotional, he's more like inner-based. I think they said they put what's that movement they put in there? The woke movement. You know, so they fucked up the character, man. That's Esau, though. Esau's trying to, you know, soften the masculinity of men. Even with Superman, he tried to turn him to a moist character, man.
Yeah, bro.
You know, it shows you this world's corrupt. But even in the movie, it's showing you that they're making mockery of the Lord. In the beginning of the movie, I'm not going to spoil it for spoiler alert, but when they write there, as I said, they mention the meta-humans, and they say he was a meta-human that came from the heavens onto earth, right? And then they say he was in his 30s. Now, obviously, who's that talking about? It's talking about Yahweh Shai, man. Saying he was in his mid-30s and all that. That's talking about Yahweh Shai. He was the one that came from the heavens into earth, born through the flesh of through the seed of man, of course. But he's the only begotten of Yahweh, the Heavenly Father Yahweh. We know he's the whole power of Yahweh Shai. He's the son of the living power on the right hand side, man. You know, first begotten, first creature, first creation. You know, the preeminent one, as they say, which means the first. So, and they know that his ministry started in his 30s, man. So they're making mockery of the Lord in that movie, Kal-El, man. The Superman. Because they know that's a representation of Yahweh Shai and the Israelites. And what the power that we're going to get. And even to show you in the flying, the certain scenes that look kind of cool, especially like the flying scenes and that, like that boosts you up, like shows you that when the Lord gives you that power to fly, man, it's going to be something else. Like you're actually just flying over the waters and all that, and flying against trains and, you know, all kinds of shit, man. Supersonic speeds. Like we're gonna enjoy that, man. Lord said he's gonna mount up an eagle's wings. Someone get that real quick. Not to change the topic, but spiritual power's coming, man. Like all things ain't going down for us. Things are gonna start going upwards for us, man. The Lord's gonna start exalting these men. In the time of Jacob's trouble, that's another reason why these women are gonna cling onto the men of the Lord, because they're gonna see that power, that hegemony that the brothers are talking about, which women are drawn to what? Power. You know? Which could be spiritual and physical. So in that day, the Lord says he's going to make men mount up with wings as eagles, man. In Psalms 103 and 4, and then Isaiah 40 and 29. Yeah.
It's Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 29.
Yep.
He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might, he increaseth strength.
That's what the Lord's going to do, man, in these last days. For his men, because we're in this feeble flesh, your brothers all kind of ailments, sicknesses, grief in the flesh, man, that brothers is enduring. But the Lord said even in Malachi 4 and 2, he's going to come with healing in his wings, man. So this is a thing of patience and enduring. That's what it's about. It's part of the sufferings of this, the persecution of this wicked ass society, guys.
Even the youths shall faint and be weary.
Yeah, the youth brothers, the young brothers, and feeling all kind of, the young brothers is feeling like old men. You know, because it's funny, it's fucked, man. Because when we was in the world, we was always rejuvenated, we was agile and just jumping up, ready to do something. But nowadays, When you come into this truth, you just wake up, all kinds of clicking and clacking, aches and pains, and your body's just feeble, man. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. The flesh is very weak, man. And over time, it gets weaker and weaker. So the Lord's gonna have to rejuvenate certain men, especially the young youth. Yeah, young men like us, brothers around the four winds. Even our apostles and the elders, a great millstone, man. It's starting with them because they're full age, man. They've been doing this work from the beginning, man. And they started out as young men with no grace. Now they're fully grayed up. All up in age, getting up in age, not moving as fast as they used to or whatever. The Lord's gonna rejuvenate those men, man. Go ahead.
It says, and the young men shall utterly fall, but they that wait upon Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai shall renew their strength.
So the Lord's gonna renew us, man. The Lord's gonna give us that spiritual burst of energy. Go ahead. Spiritual power, go ahead.
It says, they shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint.
Yeah, we're gonna mount up with wings as eagles, meaning what? We're gonna be a bunch of Kalels. All powerful, man. All power. Flying, man. That was one of his main predominant powers, to fly. Shooting laser beams out of his eyes. All these different things, man.
X-ray,
laser beams. Yeah, freeze people with his breath. Cold breath, and freeze a whole fucking mountain. Turn it into stone and all that. Do all kinds of spiritual works, man. Manipulating the elements, so to speak. He even flew around the earth, so fast that it reversed time and shit. That's the kind of power the Lord's gonna give these men, man. Not saying we're gonna be able to reverse time, but we're gonna have spiritual power, though. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was the point.
Yeah, then Psalms 103 and 4. Something like that.
Psalms 103 and 4. Who redeemeth thy life from destruction, who crowneth thee with loving kindness and tender mercies,
Yep.
who satisfieth thy mouth with good things, so that thy youth is renewed like the eagles.
Our youth is going to be renewed like the eagles. Once again, we're going to be able to fly. You see those videos of brothers from Manat Azak, Banyamyan's channel, 144's channel, he does all them spiritual power videos and all that. To uplift brothers, man, to show brothers that, all is not lost. Like, the Lord's going to start endowing certain men with spiritual power for real. It's written over in the scriptures. The Lord said the things that he done, we're going to do in greater. The Lord turned water into wine, he walked on water. We're going to fly over water. Literally going to be flying over oceans of seas and all that, man. Rivers and all that. Not touch the earth, not touch the ground. Turn water into wine. We're going to be doing all kinds of miraculous works that the Lord did. We're going to be able to actually create food, even in the time of Jacob's warfare. If the Lord could turn water into wine and break bread and fish, multiply it to feed the 5,000, we're going to be able to do the same thing. In the time of Jacob's trouble, brothers not have enough to eat or whatever, we're going to be able to take some, little morsel of meat or whatever it is and, multiply it to buckets of food, That's the power the Lord's going to give his men. That's why it says, my servants shall eat. Or even if we stumble across a what's it called, a bunker, and it's all packed out with food and all that, brothers are going to be satisfied, man. We're going to be satiated with that for a hot minute. But it says that in Isaiah, I always forget where it is, where the Lord said that those that do the will of the Father, the work basically, the labor, that they stay and their bread shall be assured, man. We're not going to be lacking basically in that day. Our bread and our stay is going to be assured, but everyone else, the 2/3, the black woman, all that's crying about 911 being blocked and all those type of people there, the niggas of the world and shit, they're going to be out there lamenting, man. Women are going to be lamenting for the teats. Another thing Trump is doing, he said he's going to be cutting off all the welfare system and all the SNAP and all of that, EBT. I think he's been doing it already, but I read an article when Trump said he's going to be stamping down on that basically. He's totally going to get rid of that whole welfare system. And who's more affected by the welfare system than a nigger woman who's got multiple kids and shit like that, man? They latch onto that benefit system, man, like it's life and death. So once he cuts all that credit and debits off, your SNAP your snap credits and all that off. The only way you're going to be able to get access to those things is by you taking that biometric, which the majority of our people are going to end up taking. You know, you women are going to be out here suffering, man. You're going to be suffering like never before. And as I said, Esau's not going to come to your aid because he's the one that's going to be putting the hell on you. So who are you going to turn to? You know, that's when you women are going to learn that the man is the prize. We proud heifers out here still pushing that feminist BS jargon, talk about a woman's independent. You're going to realize that all that independent talk is a bunch of BS. Because when all hell breaks loose and the lights go out, women need men for protection, man. When people are banging down your door trying to break in, you're hearing glass break in the middle of the night, you got intruders in your household. How are you going to fend them off if you ain't got a man? All you can do is sit there and scream and get taken, man. Like Liam Neeson's daughter. Just get taken. He just said it on the phone, look, man. Hide underneath the bed. You're about to be taken. That's what he said. You can't do that. And what are you going to do? Fight all these men off? You can't fight. They're end up killing you, raping you, and just killing you. So look, just hide underneath the bed. They're going to grab you. You're going to be taken. You know? And you have to fight for tooth on arm and leg trying to find his daughter. You know? That's it. No one's going to come and save you. No Liam Neeson's going to come save you in that day. Once you get taken, that's it. That's your ass, man. All them Hollywood movies, that was just a Hollywood movie. Ain't no one coming to save you, man. Unless you're part of the Lord's elect. And he sends a man of the Lord your way, then you might have some mercy right there. If that's not going to happen, for a lot of you, majority of you women, like, we're going to have the pick of the litter, man. So a lot of you women, we're going to just cast away. Even if you're pretty as hell, you could be like one of them IG models and all that shit. A lot of them plastic surgery BBL bitches, they're going to get cast away. We don't want no BBL bitches, man. With plastic butts and plastic titties. We don't need none of these, man. And now they're coming out saying all that BBL shit is just rotten flesh that stinks and has maggots in it, man. You know? It's just basically rotten flesh. You put in all your fat that you took from your stomach and your thighs, and you put it in your ass. It's just rotten flesh, and it spreads disease, and it fermentates and starts stinking. Your skin stinks after a while. Dead flesh and all that. And you start growing maggots and shit out your ass and all that, man. So all that BBL, all that shit was not, it's not the lick, man. A lot of these women are coming to find out the hard way, you know? This world's fucked, man, put it that way. Capital F, man.
Wisdom of Solomon.
Yeah.
Wisdom of Solomon 5 and verse 3. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. You know, a lot of these people, they're going to, regret the way that they spoke about the men of the Lord, the way that, they looked at the prophets, because they're going to see that the Lord was actually dealing with those men, man. But the Lord uses men that are lowly, don't come with all the, riches and all flashy and, the riches of this world. The scriptures say that he's basically chosen the poor of this world, but rich in faith, man. And that's going to be the men of the Lord, the ones who are, humble, and having faith in the Lord, who are going to be delivered. And these people are going to see him, and right in front of all our enemies. He had even what was it, Robert Kennedy. He's quoted one time saying, what would the world think, if they found out if the God was black, and how he treated the so-called Negroes, the so-called blacks, and his people. So they're gonna come to find that out to be true, man.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna be proper fucked.
That's it. Judgment, man. That's what we're in the time of, man. We're in the time of pure judgment right now. The sentences have already been basically it's been carried out or been said, so it's been pronounced through the men of the Lord, the mouthpiece of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. But then the actual judgment's going to commence. That's why you're having situations like the floods. The Lord's visiting the earth which he made, man. Then sooner rather than later, before you know it, the missiles are going to be flying, man. That's the actual judgment of the Lord. We're not just reading that out of a book. These are things that are actually going to take place, taking place as we speak right now. The time of sedition, uproars of the people, civil unrest, civil war. It's gonna happen whether you want it to happen or not. Romans 3:3. What if some did not believe? You know? So we don't care about if you believe us or not. All we know is we're doing the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And even if it's one person that believes us, man, we're gonna hold on to that. We're doing what the Lord told us to do. In hopes that we'd be saved, man, you know? Because we don't want to go through what you people are going to go through. That's why we're out here constantly warning you, man. It's going to be untimely hell. And Jay don't understand, man. He hasn't got the memo yet. But once you get the understanding, once them when all hell really breaks loose, man, the shit gets shut down in the streets, and there's no one to turn to, and it's just basically kill or be killed. Then you're gonna realize that prophet has been among you, man. You know. Then you're gonna look for the Israelites online, and you're not gonna be able to find us.
It says, we fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of the Most High, and his lot is among the saints? You know, that's what they always say, you know, just like a proverb, you know, about, you know, Jake, innit? Yeah, they say like, oh, either dead or in jail. Or you ain't never gonna be nothing. You know, you ain't shit just like your dad. And all of this fucking shit that they say, innit? But really, you know, we're the sons of the Lord, man. The saints, you know, the ones that are gonna be delivered, man.
Yeah, I've got man.
We're gonna be, you know, uplifted.
Yeah. We're literally taken up into the air. Meet the Lord in the clouds, man. And it says, them that resisted the image and resisted the mark of the beast, they're gonna get victory over the image of the beast and his mark. You know, that's the only man that's gonna do that is the elect. 144,000. You know, and those that hated us and the infamy of the people, they that was incensed against us, as it tells in Isaiah, they're gonna be greatly ashamed, man. Because as a brother just read, they counted our lives as nothing. They thought we was worthless. We were just, you know, monkeys, black monkeys eating bananas in Africa and all that. And he just put us on boats and carted us over there to the Americas, while we was the savages, you know, doing sun sacrifices over there in the land of America. They call it Mesoamerica before, you know, the pilgrims came over there and pillaged the land. But you put your hands upon the apple of the Lord's eye. The children of Israel were special, peculiar people unto the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So once you put your hands on the tribes, that's where you fucked up. Because we're the people of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And you devils know it. Because when you came up amongst us, you noticed that our languages of the Hebrew, the dialect and all that was Hebrew dialect, and the customs that we used to attain and keep were from the Lord's statutes and judgments, man. We used to keep the Sabbaths and all of that. That's what you came across when you witnessed the Native Americans and the Tainos and the Aztecs and so on and so forth, the Mayans, that they had customs that was attained to the Bible, man. Because those are the 10 lost tribes that traveled, you know, from the Syrian captivity over to the New World, the land of Asareth, man.
Yeah.
Going back how many thousands of years before these devils came over there with their you know, that plantation Christianity, stole the land, pillaged and robbed our people, man. You know. Then he went over to West Africa and brought the rest of the Southern Kingdom over there, over to the Americas. And so you basically enslaved all 12 tribes. It tells you Jeremiah 15:33. The children of Judah and the children of Israel were oppressed together. By who? The so-called white man. You peons, man. Namely, you small hats, man. You small hat rats. You Amalekites, because you funded and you basically, you know, yeah, you funded the whole movement, the transatlantic slave trade. But it started with you Arabs. It started with you first. You can't leave out you damn Arabs, man, Ishmaelites and all that. Because really, it started with you. And then you got in league with the so-called white man, ran hand in hand together, and you both came up against us. And you know, that's what started the whole transatlantic slave trade. It was a worldwide thing. So you Arabs, you're gonna get fucked up too, man. Ishmael's not exempt. All the nations, man, it's written of in Psalms 83, they're all going into slavery. You know, that's what you call poetic justice right there.
That's it.
Go ahead.
This is Revelations chapter 13 and 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Yeah, man, that's what you call righteous recompense, man. The Lord said it's a righteous thing to recompense tribulation unto them that have troubled you. So who troubled us as a nation, man? You came into our lands and stole our resources and stole our women, raped and robbed and murdered our people, stole the land. So you peons, man. You colonizers, man. Esau's always going to be known as the colonizer of the earth. Because that was what you did. You even colonized the other nations, man. The Ethiopians. The Ethiopians were known as the land of Kush before you devils started interacting with them. Then you started calling them Ethiopians, which means birthplace. The Greeks, all that. We're not even the Greeks, though. The Japheth, the sons of Japheth, which originally were the Greeks. Yeah, Yavan, like you changed their whole makeup, man. You're one. You changed their whole their lands and all that. That's why it said remove not a man's landmark. You name it. You call the lands by your own name. Africa wasn't known as Africa before Lipio Scipio Africanus went over there. It was known as the land of Ham. When that Roman devil went over there, he called it the land of Africa, because he conquered that place. Asia as well, Livio Scipius Asiaticus or whatever it was called. He named Asia. America was named after a cracker, Amerigo Vespucci. So you devils, China didn't. You devils did this, man. Chinese didn't colonize the earth. Otherwise, we'd all be speaking Cantonese. But notice when it comes to languages, everyone had to learn English. Why? Because it was these British devils that conquered the earth. So you gotta pay, man. There's no way you're gonna get off scot-free. Especially for putting your hands on Zion, man. To Zion, which is the monument of memorabilia of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, the children of Israel. You have to pay, man. There's no other way to go around it. You have to reap what you sown, which is slavery. You benefited of it, so we're going to benefit of it in the kingdom. We're going to benefit of your slave labor. You building our kingdom, and you bringing in your resources for our gain. We taking your children, your women, and enslaving them. We're going to reap the benefits, and it's going to be free labor as well.
This is Isaiah 14 and verse 1. It says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them."
Yeah, the strangers talk about Israelite foreigners, man. When we join with the rest of the tribes in the Holy Land, Jerusalem, the city of peace. Go ahead.
"And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the Lord," it says, "and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors."
Yeah, we're gonna basically be put back in the rulership seat where we belong, man. And these nations are gonna be rightfully subjugated underneath us. And in the 21st verse in that same chapter, if you can go to it, Bob Shah, it speaks about the fact that ultimately, man, we are going to prepare slaughter for you for the iniquity of your forefathers, man. And you're gonna have to pay. You're gonna have to pay in blood for the wickedness, man, that you brought forth upon our people, man, because of the fact that you ultimately, man, proactively pushed and furthered the affliction, man, more than you were supposed to. You devils took great pleasure, man, in oppressing our people, and as a result of that, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, is going to extinguish you. He's going to unalive you devils permanently after that 1,000 years of captivity going on.
Look at Willie Lynch. That devil, he's going to pay as well. All that stuff, he made me think about it. Like falling in affliction, like they were like going overboard, man. And that, like, when you read his letters and stuff that he was, his whatever writings or whatever about him, he was going into deep detail on how to just completely ruin and dismantle Jacob, completely like psychologically destroying the Lord's people. So guys like that, the nation of Edom, they're going to be destroyed, man.
Yeah, well, that psychological fuck up still affects our people to this very same day.
Yeah.
Where our Jacob still literally, man, reeling off the effects of that slavery, man. That's why niggas act the way that they act. Because ultimately speaking, bro, our people are destroyed, and Esau, Edom, and these other nations are to blame for that to this day. Go on, bro.
This is verse 21. It says, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
Yeah, exactly. So go to Malachi, the first chapter, verse 4. Because the Lord ultimately wants us to put you devils out of your misery, man, and to have you subjugated. We're gonna have you in perpetual slavery for 1,000 years, man. And it's gonna seem like forever, but then after that, we're gonna ultimately do away with you and destroy you, man. Totally decimate you Edomites, man. You're gonna be done away with. There ain't gonna be a single one of you, man, left. You know, you had that fucking clown, the comforter, talking about there's gonna be a section of these Edomites that are gonna forsake their forefathers. None of that shit is happening, bro. There ain't not gonna be no fairy tales, man. No happily after all for Esau Edom. You're just gonna be totally wiped. No, what's issue with it? But or just use the water. But you're gonna be totally just wiped away and destroyed, man. Esau Edom is gonna be totally fucking decimated, and that's why ultimately we again have no fear, you devils, man, because ultimately, yeah, you can kill us in the flesh. On this side, you can do all that you can to affect our bodies and our physical makeup, but there ain't nothing that you can do against the spirit, man. The spirit of Yahweh Hashem Shai Hashem Kadash, ultimately, man, is that we're going to rule in perpetuity. We're going to rule forever, man, and be an eternal kingdom of righteousness to come, man, and the kingdom to come. And you devils, ultimately, man, are going to fail, man. It's already been written in scripture. That's why, although your thought is that your houses are going to continue forever, I hate to inform you, your end is around the corner, man, and it's already been written by Yahweh Hashem Shai. Go on, bro.
Malachi 1.
Yeah, verse 4.
Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate
Because
places.
these devils are basically creating order our chaos, bro. Like, they are purposely destroying this kingdom and the infrastructure of it so they can set up their own wicked kingdom with the RFID chip at the center of it, have everyone in perpetual slavery. But in the midst of trying to debase this system and the currency and all the rest of it and setting up their kingdom in the time to come, they're ultimately destroying the only hope that they have of maintaining this kingdom. If these devils were really trying to have an eternal kingdom, they just wouldn't bring the chip out in it. But ultimately, it's the Lord put it in their spirit that they're gonna try and cap their enterprise and their wicked glory, and the Lord in the midst of all of that is going to bring them down, and they're gonna be totally decimated and totally destroyed. Yeah, when they're just about to crown their enterprise with glory, and that's what the Lord is about, man. Ultimately, the prosperity of the wicked is but for a moment. They look like they're making strides right now. It looks like they're impermeable, but Egypt was impermeable until when the Lord sent them plagues and drowned Pharaoh and his army in the Gulf, and the Gulf Edom is being built up, but for a great fall to come. You know, that's what we're going into. Go on, bro.
It says, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever.
So put simply, Ralph, like, people are going to know that you devils, man, ultimately speaking, are the hated ones of Yahweh Hashem Shai. People are going to know that the Lord disdains you. People are going to know that ultimately speaking, man, you have no rights, man, in the eternal kingdom to come. You were created to be the Oscar, and you were created to be the true hated. You know, in Sirach 33, it speaks about the nations that the Lord has drawn near unto himself, and it also speaks about nations that have been set afar from the Yahweh Shai. And you devils have been created to be the hated of the Lord, man. The Lord didn't create you to be a vessel of honor. He created you to be a vessel of dishonor. And as it says in the book of Romans 9, it's not of him that willeth or him that runneth, but of the Most High, Yahweh Shai, that showeth mercy, man. So ultimately, it's the Lord's will that you devils, man, literally, after all of the wickedness that you wrought, after all of the efforts you tried to make to set up an eternal kingdom of wickedness, to be totally dismantled and done away with as a people, man. You know?
That's why, that's because these Edomites trying to say, oh, but that was so long ago, that was in the past. But the scriptures tell you, man, the Lord, he hates you devils, man, forever, man. You know, to the point to where you're actually gonna be Obadiah 118. You know, after you serve that captivity for 1,000 years, you know, then there's gonna be no need for you, man, in the earth. You know, you've done your job of wickedness. You know, you're an example of what not to be on the earth, and that's it. You're gonna get gone, man.
Go on, bro. You got it.
Continue.
Don't look at people.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth?
So Ezra was seeing, you know, pretty much the end of the society vision. And he asked the angel, what's going to be the deciding factor? What's going to be the time where we transition from the kingdom of wickedness into a rulership where the righteous are back in authority, where you ain't got servants working as princes in the earth, and you actually got the true kings of the universe under Yahweh Shai ruler, man. Let's see what Ezra was told.
And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him.
And notice it said from Abraham unto Isaac, because it was a chosen line. Abraham had 8 seeds. He had Ishmael, Isaac, and then he had the 6 sons of Keturah. But it went down the chosen seed of Isaac, and then Isaac had Jacob and Esau. It came down the chosen line of Jacob, man, who had his name changed to Israel after he wrestled the angel. Even amongst the 12 patriarchs, there was, even though Judah was the 4th born, he was still chosen in the spirit to be, through his circumstances, a series of circumstances, to be the head tribe, because there's a particular line. Oh, go on, bro.
He says, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
So, you know, when the twins came out, or the fraternal twins, Jacob and Esau, Jacob was holding the heel of Esau, and Esau technically came out first. Not even technically, Esau came out first. So, technically speaking, I should say, he was firstborn, and according to standard process, would have normally received the blessings and you know, the birthright, because he's the eldest brother. But ultimately, you know the story, Genesis 25, he sold it for a morsel of meat. And Jacob took it, man, because it was always set up in the prophecy. But that was really set up by the Lord to show that, hey, the Lord sets the tradition, but he can break the tradition if he wants to, and set up whoever he wants to get the to get the glory. The same way Joseph had 2 sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, but Ephraim, the younger son, is still technically speaking the head of the northern kingdom. And those 2 kingdoms, the northern and the southern kingdom, headed up by Judah, are going to come up together. And pursuant to Ezekiel 37, we got this one stick, man, letting our people know who they are according to the scriptures. Go on, bro.
The Lord said the elder shall serve the younger. So that's what's happening. The elder, Esau, came up first. He's going to end up serving his younger brother Jacob. We're going to drag his ass down and take his kingdom. And the ultimate Jacobite, or Israelite, basically, the Jacob's name was translated to Israel, is Yahweh Shai. He's going to personally take down Esau himself.
That's right, man. He's going to cry like a travailing woman, like the scripture says, man. I mean, he's going to come with such ferociousness and such fierceness that, hey, Esau Edom's literally going to see and hear the Lord before as he's on his way. Revelation, the 1st chapter.
That's why the Lord's got that vendetta, personal vendetta against the Edomites, because going back to the prophecy, Jacob's going to be taking down Esau. But yeah, that's why the Lord said, who is this that coming from Edom? The thy garments for body, man. You know, because he's got that personal vendetta, and along with the Edomites that put him on the cross, you know, and stabbed him, you know, those two the Roman centurions. So the Lord's got a public personal vendetta against the Edomites, man.
Yeah, those 2 men are going to be around to see him when he returns, man. And the Lord ain't forgotten about that over 2,000 years ago, but it's
2 days to the Lord.
2 days. Yeah,
So he's still vehemently pissed.
Exactly. Rightfully so.
Those devils have been reincarnated for the past 2,000 years. So they're here on the earth waiting to be judged. So they're probably in Trump's cabinet, one of them top generals, or you know, in his administration, or in the Senate, or one of them. They're in that government, American government. Put it that way, because America is modern day Rome. So they're alive and well, so to speak, waiting for the return of the Lord, so the Lord can judge them.
This is Revelations 19 and 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, And he that sat upon him was called faithful and true, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war.
Yeah, man. That's speaking of Yahweh Shai, and ultimately, there's numerous different scriptures that refer to the coming of the Lord and exactly how majestic his coming is going to be when the Lord returns on that father ship, man. Let's just describe the ship as being so huge before it ended, man. You know, those are the same chariots that guided us through the wilderness in Egypt. Those are the same chariots that took up Elijah, took up Yahweh Shai. Those chariots are going to come with a dual mission to destroy the wicked and to deliver the elect. And the vision that Ezra saw in 2nd Ezra 13, wait,
This is Revelation.
Revelation's not, yeah, sorry, no, sorry. But yeah, like John the Revelator saw the vision of the chariot. Ultimately, those chariots are going to come in such great power that Esau Edom is going to try his best to stop them, but it's going to be a whatless task. Like, it's basically going to be a purposeless task. They're going to be scared, but they're still going to fight. And the Lord's going to literally, with a swoop of destruction, take those devils down. It's written of in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, when Ezra saw the vision that Yahweh Shai neither lifted up sword nor weapons of war, but he literally opened up his mouth, and as it had been a flaming breath, like the scripture described, it came and consumed them up, so there was nothing to be perceived but dust and smell of smoke. That's basically a personification of the chariot of the Lord that the Lord is in. He's going to shoot fire on these devils to the point where he's going to eviscerate every single one of them, their jets, their armies, their tanks, all of it, man. And then literally, it's going to down to and then they're going to call upon him a peaceable multitude, which is the 144,000 and the 1/3, and we're going to be joined up with the Lord in the heavens, like it's written in Revelations. That sea of glass it speaks about in the scriptures is us looking down on the earth while that destruction is still also being wrought by the chariots and the nuclear missiles. Seeing 2/3 Jake that should have been listening to us, running away, seeing missiles getting launched across different continents. The whole earth being reformed underneath us, and then we're gonna come down as meta-humans, you know, and literally take over the earth, man.
Straight.
That's
Superman, extraterrestrial, you know, angelic forces basically in human flesh taking over this world. Gods. The Lord's literally going to make us gods again, man. Because we're a nation of gods. Roman judges. So, you know, any more on that? So anyway, we'll probably close up. Those when the brothers was edifying, those other writers, we see you brothers again next week. Give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Shalom.
Shalom.